And here we go with the CMC Fabrication 150 at Daytona International Speedway. May have made it by, but oh, Danny Dow did not. Bobby Brill bringing the do-gooders number one.
It's Bristol, baby. Welcome to the Coliseum, the world's fastest half mile.
Oh, and Matt Johnson already. One way in, one way out, 125. Danny Dow in second. And we're green flag. Bobby Brill takes the green.
Maybe he was trying to get a run, but if he was trying to get a run, that was not very, very sharp racing right there.
That was passing the zone 90, the number 96. Just kind of get into each other once the caution flag happens, and so two teammates.
I'll tell you what, it's great, but at the same time, man, the nerves and stress are just running through my veins right now.
But looks like Jake Rowell is gonna hang on and win the Midnight Cheese Grater 75 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Oh, and Bobby Brill into the wall, first turn.
Straight into the wall. About 8 or 9 positions there, Sean. Pass, going inside. Oh! Take the ground on the left side, threw him to the right, put him right into the right rear corner for Dickey. He whipped our leader.
Dean Brummett is still up front, but Marshall Stanley closing the gap. He is within 6 seconds of Dean Brummett, and Marshall Stanley making the pass to third.
Car has been a little tricky to get around tonight. He's been quite a bit slower than the leaders. He can just...
Dean Brummett wins the Between the Line 70 here at the Roval. Congratulations to our first two-time winner. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome out to the Shake and Bake 185 Mid-South Madness, week number 5. My name is Sean Griffith. I am here with Thomas Rutherford, my broadcast partner. How are we doing tonight, Thomas?
Sean, we are doing great. We are looking forward to some plate racing here tonight. The largest track, the fastest track on the circuit, Talladega Superspeedway. Very excited.
It is going to be a great race tonight. People have been looking forward to this all week long. A lot of people love these restrictor plate races. A lot of people hate them. But it is going to be an exciting race nonetheless.
Yeah, one thing about it, love or hate it, it's a polarizing track. If you're fast, you're going to do good, but it's impossible to stay out of trouble here. A lot of it has to do with luck, but at the same time, keep your nose clean, be patient, and you can have a good showing here at Talladega.
Patience is something that we haven't seen a lot of so far in this league. I know in the last restrictor plate race we had, Daytona, there was a lot of wrecking going on. There was not a lot of patience there, but I think some of these guys have been practicing, and I think they may have learned their lesson.
Yeah, I will say there's not a lot of patience we've seen so far this season, Sean, but we went to the Roval last week. It's a road course. You had a lot of guys, probably nerves playing into it, so they were a little bit more reserved, and we did see some patience last week. We saw a lot of single-car accidents that happened to collect some of the other drivers, but for the most part, not a lot of aggressive driving. That's all going out the window tonight.
Yeah, it's everybody loves these plate races because all you have to do is step on the pedal and then make good decisions. And so we're going to see what kind of decision-making skills people have tonight. We have about 25 minutes until the race beginning, but let's take a look and see what our standings look like tonight.
Yeah, so going to the standings, you can see two-time winner there, Dean Brummett with Striker Motorsports up there in first place. And right behind him, Bobby Brill. I'm sure Bobby's going to be really excited tonight to have a good finish, especially after dumping it into the wall in Turn 1 at the Roval last week.
Yeah, that was one of the broadcaster's curses. I picked him in that race, and in Turn 1, he ditched it. And so I will try not to pick him tonight if he's going to win.
Yeah, you got Troy Dow there in third. We've seen the Dow boys racing side by side. You see his dad Denny there in sixth. I know we've got some others to cover before that, but really want to highlight those two because they have been at each other not only last week but all week this week. So interesting to see where they're going to end up together.
You know, in fourth you got Chris Massey. He was an independent, and then Wild Bill Motorsports picked him up, and he has really put Wild Bill on his back and carried them to this position.
Yeah, Massey's had some really, really consistent and solid finishes. You got Adam Pettit behind him. We just mentioned Danny Dow there in sixth. Joseph DuPont there in seventh. Would have liked to have seen a stronger performance out of him last week, especially with the skill and ability he has at a road course.
That's right. Then we got Devin Zimmerman tied with Joseph for that seventh position. And then our other winner of the year, Jake Rowell from Striker Motorsports in ninth.
Yeah, and I don't think Jake got to make it last week. A little bit of trouble getting into the race. He's been running very strong, obviously got the win, as you're alluding to. One thing I will say about this top 10, rounding it out with Aaron Gerwitz, is we have every team is in a playoff position with a driver of some sorts, except for Jam Racing. Sean, what's going on with Jam Racing?
Well, Jam Racing, their best driver right now is Jay Graves, and he is right there on the cut line. He's 5 points outside of the playoffs. So if he has a good finish tonight, which he had a great finish and start in that very first race at Daytona, so he's good at restrictor plate racing. If he has a good finish tonight, then he could get Jam into the playoffs.
And we'll talk a little bit more about them, Sean, when we go through the team intros. But I think that's a team that's got something to prove tonight, especially at a plate track. They've got the same opportunity as everybody else.
Well, just keep in mind, all those that are in the green right now, those three that are in the green, they are guaranteed a playoff position because they won a race. After that, we take however many people for points until we get to the top 15 racers. And so this could be one of those things where we have 11 different winners and then only 4 people from points making it in. So points are vital.
Points are absolutely vital. And, you know, with already having 1-2 race winner, and actually it was 3 weeks in a row, Sean, I do believe we saw Striker Motorsports in victory lane. So even though we're still early in the season, there is a little sense of urgency with these teams to get up there and either get a win or have some consistent finishes to make it to the playoffs. We're going to be halfway there next week, Sean.
We will be. And I'll tell you, somebody that's doing a really good job so far, and he just started his own team, Justin Boyles, there for Flashpoint Racing down there in 13th. And you had a chance to sit down with Justin, didn't you?
Absolutely, I did. We talked to Justin this week on TR's Corner, talked to him about his individual efforts as well as the formation of Flashpoint Racing, which is a continuation of a team he's had in some other leagues and series. So let's take the opportunity to talk to Justin here on TR's Corner.
Hey folks, welcome to another edition of TR's Corner. Thomas Rutherford with you here, and today we have Justin Boyles. Justin, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, no worries. Glad to have you. So, want to talk a little bit. We race in the league you got, IBCS. You know, I started racing in the qualifier series there. You're new to MidSouth Madness as far as the league, but not new to iRacing. Tell us a little bit about your virtual background.
Yeah, I got into iRacing last year. I think it was May. So I've been in a little over a year now, and kind of, I don't know, I was probably scrolling through YouTube some point early on in high school. So we're talking, you know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and I had found what is now the Coca-Cola series, and I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to find out how to get into it. But when you're a freshman in high school, you don't make any money. So I started making a little bit of money and decided I wanted to get into it. So I kind of bought me a little Logitech setup and all that good stuff, single monitor, and got into it. And, now it just breaks my wallet every other week. So
that's a good hobby to have, though, right?
Yeah. I love it, man. So I've always wanted to, like most people, be a race car driver, right? I mean, that's a childhood dream, and it'll probably never happen. But when you're on iRacing, I mean, you kind of get that sense of things. So, and through it, I've learned a lot about racing, and so like when I watch it on TV now, I can kind of see different things that maybe I wouldn't have picked up on before, and so I started getting into the league stuff, and I ran another league that kind of emulated the NASCAR Cup Series last year. And me and another guy decided we want to kind of start our own thing. And we started the iRacing Virtual Cup Series. And so we've been doing that this season. And then through that, I met Jason Tripp and got started racing with you guys at MidSouth Madness. So that's that's my short history on iRacing, I suppose.
Very cool. So obviously you were running in MSM MidSouth Madness. We invited you over. You didn't know if you were going to be able to run every week. Now it seems you're not only running, but you're up towards the top part of the field, and you've been running every week since. So what do you like best about MidSouth Madness?
Just the guys in it are just, it's pretty laid back. The racing's pretty good, and I've gotten to spend some time out front and battle it out with some of those guys. And but even with that tough racing, I can tell that everybody respects each other, and so that's a big advantage, something I really enjoy. I think that a lot can be said for that on track, and then of course in the Discord server, when guys are they enjoy racing each other and enjoy being on track with each other, and that can really make a league grow and expand and really become a good league. So that's what I see out of MidSouth Madness, and that's what I enjoy the most about it.
And I think tonight we've got 40 drivers. We're at Talladega, and tonight you're bringing a new team. You've been an independent. Big news around the virtual garage this week. There's been a lot of rumors that you've gotten with some other guys, and I don't know if you got 4 yet. Maybe you'll let us know on this show today. But Flashpoint Racing, tell us a little bit about how that came about.
Yeah. So, excuse me. So Flashpoint Racing is my team also in the IVCS that I created with some of those guys over there. And so coming to MidSouth Madness, started running as independent, and I was in the general race chat with Jonathan Byer and Matt Johnson, and I was like, well, we're going to be in this chat together every week. We might as well start a team. And Matt has been running up front. I know Jonathan, he's had his struggles the last couple of weeks, but I can tell he's got some speed. So picked up those two guys, and we started Flashpoint Racing in the MidSouth Madness. And so I guess that'll be that program over here. And then currently only have 3 drivers, and I would love to pick up Marshall Stanley, but he doesn't seem to be super active in the Discord, or maybe he just enjoys me sending him a message every now and then, makes him feel wanted. I don't know. But I'd like to pick him up because the last week he should have won. He was by far the best car out there at the Roval, and just kind of, like road courses go, just ran into.
He caught some bad luck there on that one.
Yeah, and that hurt him for sure. I mean, I think y'all pointed out in the broadcast. I mean, guys, he got caught up twice, 2 or 3 times, and he pitted an extra time, and he still finished third and was like 16 seconds behind the leader. So that's. He probably would have lapped all the way up to the top 10 if he, been able to run clean. But I'd love to pick him up and make him our 4th. But I did some moving around the schedule this week so I could run Sunday or tonight. So I don't know how much I'll be able to race. It's probably going to fall to be about every other week. But this will be my 4th one in a row. So I'd like to take advantage of it and continue to grab some more points.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to watching you run tonight, too. And you were talking about times. I don't know if you went back and watched the broadcast on yourself, but at one point towards the final laps, you were 30 seconds back, and I think you came within 5 or 6 seconds of catching the guy in front of you. So is a pretty solid run on your behalf as well. And what are your thoughts for tonight's race? We're at Talladega. I know the Team SRN is really looking for a comeback tonight. Those guys run good nose to tail together. Tank Racing, they're always nose to tail on these restrictor plate tracks. What do you guys think is going to happen with your new team tonight?
I haven't really talked a whole lot with Jonathan and Matt yet, but I know for me personally, I'm not big into the team orders and team. I'm not going to go hunting for my teammates. That's just not how I race Talladega. Plate racing is my favorite form of racing. I think, it's kind of goes back to the foundation of stock car racing. Everybody's equal, and, your driving ability has to beat mine. For me, I don't know what those guys' plan are. If they want to ride out round up front, then, that's, hey, they can go for it if they want to hang out in the back. But for me, I know I like to play games when I'm racing at Talladega and Daytona. I might ride around in the back and kind of just watch and see who I like and how they're racing. And then I may make a charge to the front and then, drop all the way back again. So that's kind of how I'll tackle it. And if they want to be a part of that, then I'm, more than welcome to work with them. I think the advantage to having a team at Talladega is if one of those guys is on my bumper or I'm on their bumper, we can feel confident knowing we're going to stay with each other. If you got somebody from another team, you kind of have to just keep an eye in the mirror and see if they're going to pull out and try to pass you. But, I have to talk with those guys and see what the plan is. But I think when you go hunting for teammates and to work with, I think that's when you can kind of get yourself in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And that can happen. We've seen it happen at Daytona earlier in the season. And this is actually a home race for you, right? So this is your hometown track. Close enough.
Yes. This is my favorite place on earth, and it's a couple hours down the road, but I'm probably right in between Atlanta and Talladega, but I've never been to Atlanta. But yeah, it's my favorite place on earth. I go to both races every year. And so I was really bummed when the April race got canceled this year, and then eventually got postponed to July. So I was one of the probably 1,000 people in the stands. And I'm actually on Talladega Superspeedway's cover photo on Facebook. If you zoom in, you can kind of find me yelling because Ryan Blaney was there parked, celebrating, and I like Ryan Blaney. So, this is my favorite place on earth, man. And I mean that. I'm not just talking about racetracks. Like if you can ask me anywhere I want to go on any given day, it would be to go there and watch NASCAR. So hopefully we can get a win, and that'd be really cool.
Awesome. Well, man, I'm glad we got to have you on the show today. Good luck tonight, and looking forward to see what Flashpoint Racing and Justin Boyles can do this season.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Thomas, great interview there with Justin Boyles, and we'll get into what he did here in just 1 second by putting together another team. While we're talking about the teams, let's look at the team standings after Week 4 at the Roval.
Yeah, so Week 4 at the Roval, I mean, that was a heck of a race we had last week. Winning team wins $200 for this points that we've got by team, similar to F1. And in first place, Sean, we've got Striker Motorsports. These guys, like we said, won 3 of 3. They've put on a heck of a showing with 335 points.
Yeah, but it's kind of shocking that they're not really distancing themselves that much away from Stake Dance Racing, who has actually been down a member for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, and tonight you've got Daniel Baudler back on that team. You've had Chad Wampler and several of the other guys stepping up. They have been running a 3 out of 4 car team the past couple of weeks. Look for big things out of them tonight.
Yeah, but don't count out Revved Racing. They were our points leader going into last week. They've just had a couple of kind of down weeks, but look for them to rebound. They're very good at these restrictor plate races.
They are, and you're used to seeing them run nose to tail, along with do-gooders and tank racing that are down there tied for 4th with 263 points apiece. They'll have a big night tonight as well.
Yep, brand new team, Flashpoint Racing. So the way this worked, those guys that are on Flashpoint Racing, if they raced in a race in the first 4 weeks, we went ahead and gave them those points because they earned them. So Flashpoint Racing takes the 6th spot in their first week in the actual standings.
Yeah, and you just heard Boyles talk on TR's Corner about how that team came to be in this league. He already had a team called Flashpoint. Now he's brought it to MSM. All those drivers that they put on that team, individual efforts, earned them those points. Those points have carried over, and now they're sitting there in 6th in Week 1 as a team.
Yeah, and then we've got Team SRN right behind them. They have been talking a lot this week. They absolutely love this track.
Yeah, they do, and I know they've been talking all week. They were even talking before the Roval, Sean, about how they love running nose to tail, how they're very good together. They work great together. Not sure what their strategy is this evening, if they're going to sit back or if they're going to go for it. I would imagine they'll probably sit back, be a little bit patient, get together as teammates, and they'll run the draft from there.
Yeah, and then we got H2K Motorsports. Kind of had some down weeks. It's time for them to really pull it back together.
Yeah, and you got Joseph DuPont leading this team. I mean, look, he'll stick his nose up there. DuPont knows these tracks. He's really good at the road courses. We've seen him do well there. A little disappointed in last week's finish for him. So look for him to have a big bounce back tonight with him and the whole team on H2K Motorsports.
We talked a little bit about Wild Bill earlier with Chris Massey, kind of toting the load there. But they've got all 4 racers here tonight. They should be up in this.
Yeah, they should be, and Massey's been very consistent. I know these guys have really been practicing together. It will be very, very interesting to see how those efforts pay off tonight.
And then Jam Racing. Jam, they came out and they said this week that they've been practicing a lot. Hopefully we see some better racing out of them. Can't count them out.
No, and Jam Racing, again, they've put the effort in this week. I know there's been a lot of chatter back and forth between Race Control and Jam Racing and some of the incidents of prior weeks, and this week they made a full commitment to get together and practice, really come together as a team. And I think there was a practice race, Sean. We saw a couple of those guys up front. You mentioned Jay Graves and his consistency being a member of that team, but I think we'll see some others step up tonight.
I think we will. But right now, let's figure out a little bit more about these racers, and let's jump into the Paints by Night team introductions. If you have Trading Paints, go ahead and give Ashton Knight a follow on Trading Paints, and go ahead and let him know that you're following him. He does fantastic paint jobs on these cars. Definitely worth every penny.
Yeah, Sean, and on my leagues I run, I've got Ashton Knight on the quarter panel and his paint across all my cars, just like here at Striker Motorsports, where we got the number 71 of Travis Trevelyan, the number 9 of Jake Rowell, and you see the new winter stickers we put up there this week. You got 3 in a row right there. Jake Rowell, number 9, and Dean Brummett, our only 2-time winner this season, and Andrew Schroeder in the 44, making up Striker Motorsports.
Yeah, they've got some good players there, but a couple guys that need to step up this week as well. They do have a fun strategy this week. I've been told they're going to hold back towards the back of the pack this week, so they're going to bide their time.
Well, luckily there's no crew chiefs on the pit box watching this broadcast that we're putting on, so they can't pass that strategy along to the others. But we'll see how that works out for them.
All right, next up we got Stake Dance Racing. Number 6, Daniel Baudler. Number 812, Chad Wampler. Number 2 of Troy Dow. Number 39 of Stan Hausman. We got Baudler coming back this week after being gone for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and Hausman, Dow, and Wampler have really held it together. Baudler's been out, but he's a very strong driver. I would venture to say their number 1 driver. We'll see how they do tonight. I know they love restrictor plate tracks, so look for him to be very strong tonight, and I also look for him to be very aggressive from the start.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to hold back at all, but we'll see what happens. Revved Racing. Like we said before, they were kind of the leaders there for a while.
Yeah, they were, and we talked to Adam Pettit on TR's Corner a few weeks ago. They were running strong early in the season. I think they've caught themselves in some trouble, but the 57 of Adam Pettit, the 09 of Aaron Gurwitz, 87 of Sean Dice, 54 of Brian O'Shell. These guys have some talent. They've caught some bad luck. Let's see if they can turn it around tonight. Not sure if Talladega is the place where you want to catch luck, though.
Yeah, tough track out here, but the do-gooders, they've been kind of the surprise of the year. Bobby Brill won our first race at Daytona, so look for him this week. Number 24 of Taylor Smith, number 90 of Corey Knight, and the number 93 of Brad Yonkman.
Yeah, Bobby Brill, look at that. He's got the winner sticker right there. Taylor Smith, he's had some bad luck. Corey Knight's really been coming up through the ranks. Youngman, we haven't heard a lot from this season, so maybe tonight's his night to turn it around.
Then we have Tank Racing. These guys race really, really well together, so look for them to get those big stripes all in a line in this racetrack. So number 46 of Mike Lepicki, number 33 of Devin Zimmerman, number 555 of Derek De Silva, and number 79 of AJ Pritchett.
Yeah, so you got Lepicki, Zimmerman, De Silva, Pritchett. These guys at restrictor plate tracks, they run nose to tail. They're pretty solid, man. Look for them to have a really good evening here if things stay out of trouble.
All right, and then here come the newcomers. This is Flashpoint Racing. You heard Justin Boyles talk about it a little bit, and one thing that happened between the interview time and today is they actually did get Marshall Stanley to join the team. So it is number 8 of Justin Boyles, number 66 of Jonathan Byer, number 62 of Matt Johnson, and the 00 of Marshall Stanley.
Yeah, Marshall Stanley was he was the one tonight that really signed the deal so far, put the ink on the paper, and he made up that 4th place spot. So we'll see what they can do as a new team tonight.
All right, let's check out Team SRN, and really they will tell you They have been the biggest disappointment in the league so far because they have so much talent, but they just haven't been able to put it together. Is tonight the night?
It could be the night. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be an interesting night here at Dega.
Sure is. That's the number 18 of Brandon Browning, number 78 of David Duke, last season's champion, number 21, Danny Dow, and then Danny Setzer. So 4 great individual drivers. Let's see if they can team up tonight. I've been told tonight that they are also planning on holding back.
Well, you're going to see a lot of that mixed strategy tonight. You're going to see some guys get aggressive, get with their teammates, try and move towards the front early, and you're going to see guys that just sit back at the back, and they're going to wait. They're going to wait for the action to happen in front of them, hope a few cars bow out. We do have 2 fast repairs tonight, so those cars are going to be fixed very clean inside of those 2 fast repairs, and they're going to be back up and running. But the guys that sit in the back, if they can hold that draft, they may have something late at the end of the race to come up front.
That's right. And H2K Motorsports, another one of those teams that has more talent than it shows on the team standings. We got the number 13 of Josh Witt, the number 19 of Justin Kruckman, the number 42 of Duncan Staroska, and the number 88 of Joseph DuPont.
Yeah, again, DuPont, not the showing he wanted last week. That team's got a lot to prove. Restrictor plate track, they've got some talent too. We'll see where they end up.
Then we got Wild Bill Motorsports, and Wild Bill has been out the last week, so it's good to have him back. So Bill Spears in the 77, Greg Olnick, kind of the newcomer to the team, number 84, number 55 of Gary Ragland, and the number 83 of Chris Massey.
Yeah, and again, Massey in that 83. Sean, he's been running very consistent. This guy is due. Hopefully he's going to get a win here soon. We'll see where he ends up.
And then last but not least, Jam Racing. So we've got the number 5 of Mike Lewis. We've got the number 4 of Jay Graves Jr., and then number 96 of Joe Ruggles Jr., and the number 317 of Brandon Arciero.
Yeah, and Brandon Arciero, he had some struggles last week. Mike Lewis has had them. Joe Ruggles. Jay Graves been very consistent, like you said. 5 points out of the chase. We're going to see if this team can turn it around here tonight.
All right, you can see the countdown. We've only got 3 minutes left. Let's talk about what these guys are going for in the season payouts by Griffiths CPA firm. So the Paints by Night Do-Gooder Safe Driver Award. If you are the safest driver for the season, then you get $50 for that. Brookstone Animal Hospital Man's Best Friend Award. If you are the good guy on the track, if you're the nice person on and off the track, you'll get $50 for that, as well as a $25 donation to the charity of your choice. The season-long team championship we discussed before is $200 for that winning team. And the big daddy of them all, the season-long grand champion, gets $500.
Yeah, and that is a big prize, and these guys who've been finishing up here per race have been getting their entry fees back left and right because we've got a lot of money to give out just tonight during the race. First place is going to get $80. We have 43 drivers registered for this race. That's the entire field. We can't get any more in than that. 43 drivers. First place pays $80. Second place pays $45. Third place $25. And then all the way through 8th place. 8th place, you get your $10 entry fee back. And then you've got your Paints by Night Do-Gooders Clean Race bonus, which I don't think we're going to see here tonight, Sean, of $5.
No, I doubt it completely. So let's jump out there on the track and let's see how we're doing. Like I said, we are coming down to time here. So tell us about this racetrack.
Yeah, so this is, I know that right there on the screen it shows 2.65. This is a 2.66 mile track, 2.65, 2.66. Temperature's 87 degrees. These cars are going to be fast. We got 70 laps to go. It looks like a very nice day here in Talladega, Alabama. We are going to be really fast, and we've got 2 fast repairs. Again, we talked about it earlier. Once these guys wreck, because they will wreck, they're going to be able to go in and reset their car completely. And from there, they're going to be back out on the track with brand new sheet metal and a brand new motor.
Well, man, it is going to be bending some sheet metal out there because it is always just bumper to bumper the entire way here.
Yeah, and Sean, it looks like we got about 2 minutes to go till we grid. What do you think these guys are thinking about right now as they end their qualifying runs?
I think they're talking to their teammates. I think they're saying whether or not their strategy is to move up or move back. I can see from kind of some of the finishing positions so far, there are some people that say that they're going to go back to the back, but right now they're starting up in the front, and so that might be dangerous for them.
It might be dangerous, but like you said, we've got a lot of teams hanging back. We got a couple of teams that are going to be aggressive. So early on, I don't know who's going to be up there fighting for the lead or who's going to really be pressing for it. The less people that try and get up there and run for the front of the pack, the cleaner racing we're going to get early on, at least.
Well, you can see right now Devin Zimmerman going across the top of your screen. He is our pole sitter, followed behind by Bobby Brill, who won our Daytona race.
Yeah, and Bobby Brill, man, what a heartbreaker last week. We saw him dump it in the wall going into turn one. We've seen him on some of these 1.5 mile tracks, and here to restrictor plate, he should be pretty solid.
Yeah, and just looking down the list here, looks like Stan Hausman from Stake Dance Racing is up in third. Jake Roel from Striker Motorsports up in fourth. And remember, they said they were going to hold back. What is he doing up in fourth place?
Well, I don't know. We'll see what he's doing there, because he's going to have a car in front of him that will punch a hole in the air and carry him through and carry some speed. So he's going to have a pretty good shot from there.
You know, we talked a lot about Revved Racing also, and Sean Dice from Revved Racing is up in fifth right now.
Yeah, Sean Dice, Revved Racing, they need a good finish tonight. They've had a spot of bad luck, just like Tank Racing has, but both those teams together, this could be a track they could do well on. I know there's been a lot of those guys put in practice this week, and that practice is going to be pivotal for tonight, because there's nothing like racing in a pack here at Talladega.
That's right, and here we are. So qualifying is done. It is complete. So we've already talked about the top five. Brad Yonkman from the Do-Gooders up in sixth.
Yeah, you've got the top five there, Brad Yonkman in sixth. Then you've got Joseph DuPont in seventh. Again, we know he needs a good night with Hard to Kill Motorsports. Greg Olnick, a new addition in the past couple of weeks here to Wild Bill Motorsports, and he's up there just under half a second off the lead, or actually less than that, Sean. I think 400ths off the lead. Daniel Baudler in ninth. Dean Brummett, our two-time winner, still starting in the top 10 there. And then who we got to round out the top 12, Sean?
Looks like we got Troy Dow from Stake Dance Racing. He's been the most consistent driver in the entire field. So look for him to move up to the front. And then Taylor Smith, who in my opinion is the most improved over last season.
Absolutely he is. We saw him at in our pre-race intro there. He went flying. I think I said in the broadcast we should get him a pilot's license because that wreck was so bad. But since then, Taylor Smith has been very consistent. He's been trying to run up towards the front there.
All right, well, we're about to get this party started. Do you want to see if we can maybe get somebody into the booth?
Yeah, you know what, Sean? Let's see if we can maybe get Daniel Baudler up here and kind of see what his thoughts are for the evening. See if we can punch into his race radio here.
Hey, Daniel Baudler, this is Sean Griffith up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Hey, man, you know you've been out for the last 2 weeks. You're coming back on a track that just in the offseason, just a few weeks ago, you won at this track. What's going through your mind?
I'm kind of excited to be back here just in the league in general, especially at the track. I just kind of like the restrictor plate tracks. I seem to do well at those. Can't seem to qualify very well for my sake, but seem to race up towards the front, and pretty excited to get back at it and see what we can do.
So, Daniel, we're rolling off here. You're talking about not being able to qualify very well, but I can tell you what, you've got the stiffest front bumper in the entire field. I've watched you push guys. You've pushed me before here. What's your strategy with your team for this race tonight?
Actually, I kind of tell these guys, I kind of have the strategy of, don't overcommit ourselves to just helping each other, because it seems to get a lot of other teams in trouble. Basically just kind of run our own race, help when we can help, but definitely no team orders of, helping the team the entire time. You got to do what you got to do for yourself, otherwise you end up in some trouble.
All right, man. Well, we will let you get back to it. And, we got just a couple more turns, and then we're going to get this party started. Good luck tonight.
Good, guys. Thank you. Hopefully it's a good race. We'll see what happens here.
Yep. Good luck, Daniel. Good to have you back.
All right, Thomas. It is time to go.
Yeah, so we're on the backstretch here, Sean. You know what? We got a bunch of sponsors. What do you think about talking about them for a minute?
Yeah, our lead sponsor, CMC Fabrication, they sponsored our first race at Daytona. They're sponsoring our last race of the season. We really appreciate them.
Yeah, and then Dent Wizard, Smart Repairs. They sponsor all of our wreck replays under caution. So Dent Wizard, they can take out your paintless dent removal, any minor paint and body or wheel repair. Dent Wizard Smart Repairs.
Griffith CPA Firm, if you need tax help, Griffith CPA Firm is there for you.
Brookstone Animal Hospital, helping man's best friend for several years. We're happy to have them on board.
Silverback Tax Solutions, if you have a problem with the IRS, they're the ones to talk to.
Paints by Night. If he keeps selling this many paints, the IRS is going to want to talk to him.
All right, let's get at it. The pace car is going to drop off. We're going to have Devin Zimmerman in that 33. He is going to lead us to the green. Once the pace car drops off, it is up to Devin to go.
Yeah, and Sean, remember, the cool thing about this speedway is start-finish line is way down towards turn 1. So it's not here in the tri-oval. Once they straighten out, we're going to be going green. Sean, call us to the line.
All right, Devin Zimmerman, he's got the green light whenever he is ready. I think he's just trying to lull Bobby Brill to sleep. And there they go. Devin Zimmerman bringing him to the line. Bobby was awfully close there on that restart.
He was very, very close. I thought he got a jump at first, but it looked like he may have been in front of him. We'll see if Race Control or iRacing throws a black flag on that. But so far, they're off and running, lining up, nose to tail.
And so far, so good through the first turn with 43 cars on the track.
Yeah, crazy, Sean, that we've got a full field here. That just is a testament to this league and Jason Tripp and everybody else and the work they've done. Corey Knight putting this thing together. What a league, man. You don't see this on iRacing every week, week in and week out.
No, and you can see it. It's already kind of spreading out the back. Those guys that really wanted to hang back, they're doing it, and it looks like Jake Rowell is one of those that he's just going to kind of pull off. I think he's going to just drop to the back and go back with his teammates.
Yeah, it looks like he's looking for his teammates. He just wants to settle in and run. These guys get aggressive early on. Again, we're not quite halfway through the season, but we've seen a lot of cautions due to the aggression of these drivers. They're all good drivers, but they get a little bit aggressive. This is way too early in a race at a restrictor place track to try that stuff.
Well, we've already done better than last time we were at a restrictor plate race. We've made it one lap without a caution yet, but look at all the movement back there.
Yeah, as they keep bouncing outside like that, you saw Brill go to the outside. You saw Troy down, the 2 bounce outside. Now he's back inside. Who knows what's going to happen coming to the line here, Sean? We might see our caution. Hopefully not.
Devin Zimmerman all over this. He is hugging that bottom line. He is going to stay there as long as he possibly can.
Yeah, and Zimmerman, he's up there all by himself. I don't think he's got any teammates around him, but we know they're restrictor plate proven. That team runs together. They practice together. They really, really work here on the draft, so Zimmerman's no stranger to being up front in a draft.
You know, look right behind him. You got the number 39 of Stan Houseman, and earlier on in the season, he said that he was the weakest link on his team, but here he is up fighting for second place.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's right there pushing Zimmerman all the way. So those guys, if they're hanging on, they're going to maintain that momentum running around the bottom line. That yellow line is the key to running at Talladega. Oh, you see some guys making a move from the top line, too. It looks like Baudler, and who is that in front of him?
That is Bobby Brill. Bobby Brill takes the lead, Baudler right behind. You know what we didn't do, Thomas, and they might hate us for this, but I never got your pick.
Well, my pick is up there in the 6 car, Daniel Baudler, and he's running second right now, Sean.
Yeah, my pick out there, I think I'm going to go with our interview, Justin Boyles. So, and I don't really see him out on the track right now. I think he's way back in the back, but I think he's just biding his time.
Yeah, I don't think, this is Boyles, as he said, this is his home track. He lives about 30, 45 minutes away from it. He loves going to Talladega. He likes playing games here. So he's going to sit back and he's going to see how these drivers react. He's going to see how they run. And then he's going to have a game plan from there. So we'll see what Boyles and the new Flashpoint Racing do later in the race.
Well, what a surprise this is. Look up to the front. We have 3 guys in the top 5 from Stake Dance Racing. That's Daniel Baudler in the 6, Troy Dow in the 2, and Stan Houseman up in the 39.
Yeah, and Houseman, he's got something to prove here tonight because he's been part of that 3-man team because Baudler's been absent. And you've seen Dow and you've seen Wampler come up and step up and have some good finishes. Wampler got involved with Lipicki last week when they were at the Roval. Had a little bit of a bad look there, but those guys have stepped up big time. Houseman wants to be one of those guys on that team as well to show what he can do.
Yeah, but man, we got a nice tight pack up at the front. Everybody's kind of being patient so far, which is great. That's what we love to see here at these restrictor plate races, but it's so hard to watch these guys get out in front and you not go also.
Absolutely, and Zimmerman, you know, he was holding it there against the yellow line, and you see Brill get up in front of him. You got to think in his head, he's like, oh, man, come on. I was running fine. I was down here against the yellow line just being patient. Now somebody's got in front of me. Now you see him moving to the top line. He wants to get that lead back.
Yeah, I'm seeing them push a little bit harder than they probably should, only 5 laps in.
Yeah, and somebody's there in the sucker hole. Nope, Zimmerman gets back down. Looks like he was about to get caught in the middle there, but you can see him settle back in. These guys are getting a little racy for this early in the race. We're on lap 6 of 70, so we're not even 10% through this race yet, and they're starting to move line to line. We'll see what happens. You see Taylor Smith in the back there, Sean. He made a big move from the top to bottom.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Now, you call that the sucker hole. Tell us why.
Well, so these cars are all about the draft at Talladega. They're so fast. They're big, heavy cars. There's a lot of aero on this package, so you want to have the downforce. When you get in the middle there and you don't have somebody drafting you, all of the air is taken off your car. You don't have or all the air is on your car, excuse me, Sean. You don't have somebody punching a big hole in the air for you, so you lose speed, and next thing you know, you sink like a rock all the way to the back. You got to have that draft here at Talladega.
Well, let's take a look here, because you can see only about half the field up front, and then looks like everybody else is kind of hanging back. So it looks like we've got 18 cars in this lead pack, and then back in 19th with Duncan Staroska. This is the second pack back there. They are all holding back. They are all just staying out of trouble.
Yeah, it's half and half, right? Do you like cream with your coffee, or do you like half and half? Because these guys, they're sitting at the back. They're being cautious. They're just sitting back there. Don't want to lose a lap. They're hanging together, getting that draft like we talked about a minute ago. You can see Jake Rowell up there on the top line. He's not pushing. You got the 42 on the inside of him. They're not going anywhere. They're just trying to keep those leaders in front of them, just saying, hey, it's a long race. No point in pushing right now.
Yeah, they're about 7 seconds behind the leaders, but don't worry, that is completely by design.
It is by design, and it's something where I wouldn't call it a country club mentality, because you're going to see these guys racing later, but right now they just know what battles they need to pick.
Right now they're not picking any battles, but up front, Devin Zimmerman still leading us.
Yeah, and you can see the stark difference between that second pack of cars and what's going on up here up front. You got Houseman there on the outside. He's there in that sucker hole. Let's see if his teammates decide to go with him. You got Troy Dow pulling in behind him, and you got Baudler. He doesn't want to go with him, but it looks like he's gonna concede and pull down behind him there. So you've got 2 lines that are pushing very, very hard here, Sean, trying to get up front.
Well, that outside line is being led by 3 teammates from Stake Dance Racing. So all 3 of those cars, the number 39, the number 6, and the number 2, all teammates. And so they are up there pushing each other, but they're trying to stick towards the front, but they don't want to get any trouble.
Yeah, they are pushing each other, but one thing you got behind Troy Dow there is you've got another teammate of Zimmerman there, and he's going to try however he can to get up front. And that's one of the products of plate racing that you're going to see a lot, is you're going to see teams try to get together. You see Brill pushing Zimmerman right there, who's in the 33 this week, not the 31. We had a number change there. You're going to see these teams try to get together, and you're going to see when you're behind a guy who's not on your team, you're going to do whatever you can to kind of disrupt his line a little bit without wrecking him.
So we definitely have Stake Dance Racing up towards the front. Looks like we've got Tank Racing up towards the front. Looks like we've got do-gooders up towards the front.
Yeah, and the Tank Racing cars, I'm going to be interested to see what happens here. I think that's Lipicki on the outside who's trying to get up there to Zimmerman. No, it's not Lipicki. Who is that, Sean?
That's trying to get up to Zimmerman. That is, I'm trying to see who that is. That's Bobby Brill. Bobby Brill is in the 1 right behind Zimmerman.
Yeah, sorry, I was talking about the 79 there for Tank Racing, trying to get up set.
That's AJ Pritchett.
AJ Pritchett. Yeah, we haven't talked about AJ Pritchett a whole lot, so he's up there running, top 5 on that outside line, trying to get to his teammate. We talked about those guys, Tank Racing, when they get nose to tail, even from last season, Zimmerman he was the Pied Piper of Tank Racing, leading those guys nose to tail. We talked about Dale Jr. a lot here in Talladega, being the Pied Piper, but Tank Racing, it's Devin Zimmerman.
I mean, is this even possible right now that we are still green after 10 laps? We're on lap 11 here. Did you even think that this was possible?
No, but Sean, we really need to watch what we say, because Everybody's already blamed us for having a broadcaster's curse. So let's just let them run, and we'll see what happens. I'm very surprised.
Oh, a little
see?
loose.
And he saved it. Looks like he saved it. We'll see what happens here as he comes back up on the track.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get back up on the track, and let's see if he can hang out with that draft. Not sure, he might lose that draft and have to drop back to the second pack, but either way, he's still out of trouble, still green flag.
Yeah, very smart move there by Zimmerman. I know he got a little loose, probably disappointing, but he knew what to do. He slowed down, took his time, got back up on the track, and I'll tell you what, with that angle, what I'm really surprised by, Sean, is that second group has lost the lead draft.
They have. Right now, they are currently about 6 seconds, 7 seconds behind the lead cars. And so that is about half a straightaway. And so that's, or actually a full straightaway. So really tough to see that. But you can see those two Striker Motorsports cars pushing each other back there. Everybody's kind of lined up back there. They're, again, no trouble at all.
Yeah, the only way I can tell Brummett and Roel apart is by their wind stickers, because those two cars look identical other than the numbers and the wind stickers. They are being patient. They will get back up there, but I'll also say this, if we don't have cautions, tires are not really a factor here, Sean.
No, but fuel is, and so they are definitely going to have to pit at some point. And if they don't go with any cautions at all, this group is really going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, not asking for any trade secrets as a team owner, but do you think that's what they're doing, is saving fuel?
I don't think they're saving fuel. I think the discussions that we had, and for those viewers that don't know, I'm the team owner of Striker Motorsports. So the discussions we had, we just wanted everybody to stay out of trouble, let the guys up in front, if they want to race and wreck and do all that stuff, be our guests, let them use up their fast repairs, and then take off towards the end. That's all they're doing. They are not they're not saving fuel here at all.
Yeah, and talk about, team strategy and everything. We talked about Stake Dance Racing, Baudler being back this week, and them really being aggressive and getting up front. Wampler's been there for the past 2 weeks, running right up front, and I saw him sitting back in that pack as well in the 812.
That's right. There's a couple teams out there that have kind of split their drivers between that lead pack and the back of the pack too. So a couple of teams, they're splitting their strategy. They're going to have good cars either way. So if it is a caution fest, they'll have those cars ready. If it goes green, and they'll have those cars up front. That's not a bad strategy.
No, it's not. The problem is, though, is it's just the workload. I mean, Sean, you went on vacation a couple of weeks ago, right? How was Vegas? Was it good?
Oh, it was fantastic. But, man, I gambled a lot less than these guys are gambling right now.
That's my point. It was relaxing. You had a good time. You were just chilling. I was at the beach the week before. These guys up front right here, they're jockeying side by side. Their heart rates are up. It's stressful. They're not having a good time at all. Those guys in the back, it's like they're on vacation.
Yeah, they're back there. They're just relaxing for the time being. But if they're not careful, these guys up front being all racy and everything, see, they're catching some people right now.
Yeah, they are. They are, but look who you got up front. I think that's somebody's pick. Did you pick him?
I did not pick him. In fact, this would be, I think, the first week that you outpicked me.
Yeah, it is, because, again, we're a little bit cursed up here, but we're going to fix that. This is our first season here on Speed Racing Network. You can check us out on speedracingnetwork.com, where we broadcast from MidSouth Madness, this league here. And so far, we've not had the best luck with the broadcaster's curse, but tonight so far, going pretty good.
Oh, no! Troy Dow goes around, and that's a lap car. That was Bill Spears that kind of got into him a little bit. Bill probably should have driven down towards the apron there, but yeah, we've got a caution out. Our first caution is due to a lapped car and taking out one of the favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. Troy Dow was running great. Bill Spears, we haven't really talked about him a lot this season. He is the namesake of Wild Bill Motorsports. But let's go to our campus or direct replay and see what we got going on.
You can see here that a little bit lower, and that is most probably well, let's see if there are any but again, that's why you have that second.
Yeah, broadcast. We've got the Dennis over that.
Let's go back and look at
Here
it one
we
more
go.
time. I apologize for that. Let's do that one more time. So again, we'll have Wild Bill down where really he should have been a little bit lower than this. Everybody's just trying to go around him. Troy Dow gets into him. Wild Bill, he spins a little bit. Nobody else gets involved. And again, you can see this next pack coming through right now. They had plenty of time to get around everything. No damage in the back at all.
Yeah, go back and look at that one more time because it almost looked like that Bobby Brill was involved in that as well, Sean.
He was. In fact, we're going to keep it on the same view here. And you can see Bobby Brill is going to tuck up right behind Wild Bill without understanding that was a lap car. And so he had to move. And then, of course, Troy Dowd, they're in the middle. That's 4 wide right there. That's not going to work for Talladega.
Yeah, coming out of the tri-oval, that is death. And Troy Dow is the victim of that, but luckily he just spins through the grass. Wild Bill tries to let off. These cars suck up to each other so close. So for you folks at home watching, you could let off the gas 20 yards, 50 feet, 60 feet away from a guy, and you will still catch up to him because of the draft. So Wild Bill, you can see it there, the flames coming out of the pipes. He was letting off the gas, and the car still sucked up into the 2 car and spun him around after Bobby Brill and him and the 2 car got involved.
Well, it looks like just about everybody jumps into the pits there. Actually, take that back. Our top 7 here have not pitted, so our top 7 are staying out. I think they're taking a gamble here that there's going to be another caution.
Yeah, and it's not that much of a gamble, right, Sean? We talked about it. I mean, the fuel runs are really what? You got to pit for 1 fuel run. The tires here do not wear out as much if you're not racy, so you can run a tire run to the end of this race without really feeling the negative effects on the tires. Watched a race at Michigan earlier this season. Tires wear off very quick. We were at Atlanta last week here in MSM, before the Roval 2 weeks ago in MSM. Tires were a major factor. Guys were complaining about the right fronts. Here, you're not going to hear any of that. Here, you're going to hear about how the car handles bad in the draft, how it handles bad behind somebody, beside somebody. This is all about the air at this track, not the tires.
Yeah, it is. And so here we go. Let's regroup here a little bit. So Daniel Baudler up front, just where he's been the entire time. Look at that stake dance CMC fabrication car. And then right behind him, AJ Pritchett from Tank Racing. And you can see another Tank racer right behind him, Derek De Silva.
Yeah, we haven't talked about De Silva a lot. He's been there with these guys on these restrictor plate tracks. He's had some bad luck through the season. You got Wampler there in the 812 for Stake Dance. We were talking about him sitting back not 3 laps ago, Sean. So right there he is up there in 4th place.
That's right. Now AJ Pritchett up there in 2nd. He's 19 spots up, and Chad Wampler, he is 20 spots up from where he started. So not sure if this is a change in strategy because of that long green flag run.
Could be. I mean, it could be. They've decided they want to get a little more aggressive. And I'm even looking back there. Not sure if he's pitting, but is that the 8 car of Boyles?
That is the 8
falling
car
back?
of Boyles. And in fact, Boyles is a few laps down. He's actually 3 laps down right now. I'm not really sure what happened there to make him 3 laps down. I do know what happened. I picked him.
Oh, well, there's the broadcaster curse again.
There it is.
We've had some issues tonight, I know, and I apologize to some of our cohorts that are racing in this league. We had some issues. It's 43 guys trying to get into the server. I know that not everybody made it in, or they made it in late, so maybe he's a victim of that. We'll have to go back and look later.
Yep, and we do apologize for that, as well as the screen being stuck on that rec replay. We will get that fixed before next race. But right now, we are going to go around turns 3 and 4, and we are going to get right back to green with Daniel Baudler up front.
Yeah, and you can see the lights out on the pace car there. We're ready to go green. You've got many cars on the track. Look at all those guys lined up. That's a beautiful sight, Sean.
It is. There are not very many leagues out there that can field 43 drivers, but here we are, and this is an every week thing. We always have 40 to 43 people sign up. Occasionally we'll have 1 or 2 drop out at the last minute, but you don't see very many leagues on iRacing that consistently have this type of interest.
No, you don't. And if there's anybody out there on iRacing watching this broadcast that's looking for a league to get into, we are going to be expanding eventually. There's no plans. We'll tease that out there, though. And if you're curious in a league that is ran very, very well and very competitive, you can go to speedracingnetwork.com. And you can find information there on MidSouth Madness, as well as the broadcast and what we're doing for future events.
That's right. And we'll have the pace car drop off. Again, we still have another little turn to go before we get to the green. But Daniel Baudler is going to be the one that brings us there. Look at how many cars are out there. Look at them all lined up. That is just absolutely beautiful.
Yes, it is. And you can see those stripes on the Tank Racing cars up front. They're going to try and get together, and you got my boy Joseph DuPont right there in the 88. Look at him, Sean. He's come from far back to get back up there.
That's right. There goes Baudler. He gets a great jump. Looks like A.J. Pritchett's going to tuck in right behind him, and they are going to lead that outside line. And if De Silva is smart, he'll get right behind all three of them, which he does. So top four, they get lined up right there pretty quickly.
Yeah, and you got Wampler there. He's a proven restrictor plate driver. He's splitting up those two Tank Racing cars. But I can tell you what, Daniel Baudler, he's hungry. He's waiting for one. He's been out for 2 weeks. He's back. First week back, he's leading this race. It's still early on. There's a lot of racing to go, Sean.
That's right, but he said early this week that he was coming back and he was not holding back. He wanted to be up front every single lap if he could, and here he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, those Tank Racing boys behind him. You got Pritchett. We haven't talked about Pritchett all season long. And there he is on the rear bumper of Daniel Baudler, and he's pushing him hard away from the pack.
I think that just shows how great our roster is in this league, because there are 43 guys, and we don't get a chance to talk about them all. In fact, I had somebody ask me last week, why didn't I get more camera time? Well, it's because there are 43 drivers.
Yeah, and you can see Pritchett right there. He's pushing the 6th. You got Wampler catching up behind him, and it looks like you still got Bobby Brill up there too, and he's right behind De Silva. He wants to push him up there. We're still running single file. It's going to be interesting to see who's up front when they go, who steps out first, I guess is my thing, Sean, to take that second groove up top.
Well, and like you said, I mean, the problem with taking that second groove, and you can see some on the outside starting to line up, if you don't have friends out there, it's not going to work.
No, you can see a couple of cars trying to step out. Is that the Bill Spears Motorsports cars?
No, that's the 80, I believe that's the 84, or the 87, I'm sorry.
There goes
the
Bobby Brill,
nice.
Sean, look at him. Bobby Brill's stepping out outside too, so let's see if he can lead this outside line.
Yeah, and right behind him, that's the 87. That's Sean Dice from Revved Racing. And then behind him, you got a couple of Wild Bill Motorsports cars.
Yeah, Sean Dice, I do believe he has a new sponsor this week with a new paint scheme on that car, right?
Gorgeous paint scheme, and they really do a great job. You know, we've talked about Revved Racing before. They are a fantastic team. They've had a couple of down weeks. I don't see that happening very often.
Yeah, they're going to get it together. They're strong. They got some talent on there. We talked to Pettit a couple of weeks ago about on TR's Corner about the type of talent they got on that team. They even had an alternate, Marshall Stanley, that wasn't on the team, but he was in that same group of racers. And unfortunately for them, they lost Marshall this week to Flashpoint Racing.
Yes, they did. And Marshall's a great racer. They're all good friends, just like a lot of these guys in here are friends until it comes down to the track. Once it comes down to the track, there's money on the line. We are not playing games here.
We are not playing games, and whatever games they were playing to start with holding back, and some of these teams that were sitting back, they're not sitting back anymore, Sean.
They're not. We got
Striker Motorsports.
We got to spin. That looks like Aaron Gerwitz back there. Aaron Gerwitz looks like he got spun.
Oh, and weren't we just talking about that team as well? I mean, that's a shame. But it doesn't look like he collected very many cars. Let's go back and take a look.
Let's take a look. It looks like, Danny Dow gets into the number 55. And that turns Gerwitz. So that 55 is Gary Ragland from Wild Bill Motorsports. So a lot of damage there. We'll go back and we'll check it out one more time.
Yeah, Danny, I hope you didn't get nervous there in that sucker hole, but looked like he got stuck in the middle there. Kind of drifted up a little bit. Not a lot of cars. Oh!
There's Brandon Browning from Team SRN. He's not going to be happy about that.
No, he is not. He's been collected in a lot of aftermath the past few weeks. Not his doing. He's just been collected in it, so I'm sure he's not happy about that one.
Yeah, well, one more time back here from the back. You can see it from the chopper cam. Looks like down here on your right side, looks like Danny Dow gets a good run on Gary Ragland, just gets just underneath him. And,
yeah, Ragland goes up the track there, but then that hole just closes. You got Dow, a little bit of net coating there, just gets in the 09, and it's on from there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like we had too terribly many cars. We've seen a lot worse than that, but looks like 4 or 5 cars definitely involved in that wreck.
Yeah, last time we were at a restrictor plate, Sean, I think we saw 2, maybe 3 big ones that took out half the pack. So far tonight, knock on wood, we've only seen some 1, 2, 3 car incidents, so a little bit better than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, well, let's run back up front and see where we're at. We got A.J. Pritchett out front now, so looks like Baudler went into the pits. So, yeah, Baudler is in pit lane, and so he is going to give up the lead to A.J. Pritchett. That just might be one of those strategic moves where Baudler goes ahead, gets the pit in now, just in case there's another caution.
Yeah, and I'm going to give it to my boy in the 6 car. I don't think this is for tires. This is probably for fuel. He knows something that the rest of the field's not counting on or not playing to. Might be strictly for a fuel run based on what he saw in the green flag racing.
Well, you know, this is one of the easiest tracks, if I can say that, because all you have to do is mash the pedals and then make good decisions. But this is one of those things where experience does matter, because Baudler pitting right there, that could be the decision that wins the race.
Could be, but Sean, I got to challenge you on that. What good decisions have we seen so far this season?
Not as many as we would hope.
Absolutely. So unless their minds change tonight, I would expect a lot of the same when it comes to the aggressiveness these guys put out there on the track against each other. But hey, maybe the 6 car had a moment of clarity and he said, you know what, I can get fuel and I can go to the end from here. We're going to find out.
Well, let's see if we can get A.J. Pritchett up into the booth just so we can talk to him a little bit.
Yeah, so let's see if we can go down here and get Mr. Pritchett. And we will go down to, where are they here? Bear with me just a minute. We're going to Tank Racing, and we'll get Mr. Pritchett up here. Hey, Pritchett, you got a copy?
Hey, how you doing? Yep.
Good, man. Good to see you up front. We were just talking about how we hadn't got to talk about you a lot this season, but you've looked very strong here tonight. What's your thoughts on the race so far?
Been feeling pretty good so far. Feels good being up front, that's for sure. Hope I can stay here. Yeah, no, I think it's been running pretty good this race.
So, Derek, you got your teammate right behind you, Derek Da Silva. He's going to be lining up behind you on this restart. Any big plans here? AJ, did we lose you? There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Derek's going to push, that's for sure.
Good deal, man. Well, we'll let you get back to it. I know we've got one more lap under caution, but we want to get you back to your team so you can strategize.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for coming up, AJ. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so we got A.J. Pritchett up there in front. We have Bobby Brill, who won Daytona. He's out there on the outside, so that is exactly where he wants to be. And then Derek Da Silva is going to be pushing his teammate when it comes back to green.
Yeah, and Sean, just I know we're running a new broadcast this week, but if there's a way to get the engines and the cars up a little bit, maybe for the folks at home to hear them a little bit more.
There is. How about you tell everybody what's going on with the payouts, and I will see if I can. Get that done for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm putting the graphic back up again. Again, presented by Griffith CPA firm. The race payouts. This is tonight's payout. This is by race. We got the Shake and Bake 185 here at Talladega. First place going to get $80. Second place $45. Third place is going to get $25. Fourth place $20. Fifth place is going to get $15. Sixth place $15. Seventh place $10, and eighth place $10. To put that in perspective, you finish at seventh or eighth, you're going to get your money back. Now, Sean, we did talk about the do-gooders clean race bonus. I know people are going to get paid $5 if they keep their car completely clean. Bump traffic going on here tonight. I'm not sure that's going to be an option.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tight out there. So much stuff going on.
Yeah, it is, and there's been a lot going on. We've seen a lot of lead changes so far. We've seen these guys moving out to the outside lane. We've seen them moving back to the inside, drafting, bumping each other. The tank racing guys, though, those are the guys, look at them. Bobby Brill's still up there, but those tank racing guys have found each other in the top 5.
Man, and that's what they do. They get together just like that, and then they form that one big stripe down the middle, and once everybody sees that, it's typically all over.
It's the skunk stripes, Sean. They're trying to stink out the rest of the field. Look at them there with their racing stripes. You got 3 of them. When they get together, it spells fast.
All right, here we come to the green. There goes A.J. Pritchett. He's going to get Derek DeSilva right behind him. Got a great jump on Bobby Brill there.
Yes, he did. And they're nose to tail, and they're going to stay that way. If they can stay down by that yellow line, it's going to be hard to get past these guys.
And right behind them, look at the 87. There's Sean Dice, as well as the number 83 down there. That's Chris Massey from Wild Bill Motorsports.
Yeah, we talked about Massey being consistent. Here he is in 4th, and then you've got Sean Dice in that 87, then that new Ray's Energy car, new paint, so he's feeling good. That's why he's running up there. Massey, though, no surprise he's running up there towards the front.
No, none at all. Now, Sean Dice is part of that Revved Racing team. Let's take a look at that car. Like we said before, beautiful new paint scheme.
Yeah, and a beautiful camera angle there, too. Look at that Mustang down on the splitter. You got the Ray's Energy on the hood. He's happy to have that there.
Well, and like we said before, these guys, some of them get sponsors. Some of them actually go out and get sponsors to enter them into these races.
Yeah, and you've got a couple of our title sponsors we've already gone through. You got Dent Wizard on your car. You've got SILVERBACK Tax Solutions on a car, CMC Fabrication. You've got a lot of these same sponsors. We have people that want to see these guys on the track, that want to see them do well, that actually get something out of seeing these guys succeed as virtual racing drivers. So it's really, really cool to see how this league's come together, how these sponsors and these drivers have come together, and the impact they're making on virtual racing.
Right, up front, there, just as we were talking to him, Sean Dice jumps into 2nd place right behind Bobby Brill.
Yeah, and Bobby Brill, he's not given up anything, Sean. He's been up there all night. We're on lap 27. He's been there since lap 1. The rest of these guys have had to race up front. Obviously, their strategy has been to be aggressive, but Bobby Brill, he's holding his own, man.
Yeah, and that's where he was last race at a restrictor plate. That was at Daytona, and here he is once again.
Yeah, and again, we talked about it. I'm sorry, Bobby, I don't mean to mention it again, but last week he had a great qualifying position. He practiced all week, and he dumped it in turn 1 at the Roval. He came back up, but he didn't get a chance to win the race, but still glad he's getting a little bit of redemption here tonight. All
right, well, back in the back, it looks like we do have a little bit of separation out in the back. Looks like Striker Motorsports is going to hang back, just like we were talking about before. They're lined up back there with Justin Boyles as well.
Yeah, and they've been doing that since the start of the race, Sean. I mean, team owner, you know what they're doing. No team orders. They just want to keep their stuff clean because they know there's still, 40 laps of good racing to go, and there's going to be more than one caution, more than 2 cautions we've seen so far. So they're playing it safe.
Oh, yeah, they're just biding their time back there. But somebody that's not biding their time, Bobby Brill, just really leading everything here.
Yeah, and he wants to stay down against that yellow line, not go below it, because there is a penalty if you go below the yellow line and try and take a position. So with the cars on the outside, he wants to make sure that he's staying tied to that yellow line. But they are making a move on that outside, Sean.
Well, Thomas, take a look at this. In 10th place, Corey Knight, his teammate. Then behind that, Brad Yonkman back in 13th, and then Taylor Smith back in 14th. So all 4 of the do-gooders up in the top 20.
Yeah, and they are doing gooder. Like we talked about, every single week they do gooder and gooder. I know folks at home that's not appropriate vernacular, but still, these guys, they are the do-gooders. They have cool paint schemes. They actually have Paints by Night on their team, Corey Knight, and they are coming. They are going to catch up to each other, and you're going to see a little bit of tank racing versus the do-gooders here in another lap or 2.
Well, we talk about Corey Knight. We talk about Paints by Night. Let's take a look at his paint. He made this one nice and special for us. Let's just take a quick look at it. That's not it. Let's go. There it is.
Yeah, that's an awesome paint scheme. Look at it. It looks like a dark camo, almost like a shark build there. But, Corey Knight painted my Cup car for the IBCS, which is a pro IBCS series that runs on Friday nights. And it's got that same gray and almost that Batman color to it. Corey's got a really, really awesome paint scheme going tonight.
Yeah, he's designed about a quarter of these paint schemes that are in this race tonight. So once again, if you are in the mood to get a new paint on your car on iRacing, give Corey a call. You can find him at Ashton Knight on Trading Paints, or you can look him up on Facebook as well. A lot of guys down underneath the yellow line. What is going on?
Yeah, that's race control's going to look at that if they pass any positions, but it looks like they're trying to team up, play a little bit of a safe strategy. I think they're falling to the back. Again, going to Corey Knight's Paint by Night real quick, you can find them on SpeedRacingNetwork.com, as well as the other sites you mentioned on, Sean. But it looks like Tank Racing has fallen to the back. They're taking that Striker Motorsports mentality for strategy. I
think you may be right. I think they're back there in the back just kind of chilling out. Not really a bad strategy, just kind of curious why they were up front for so long.
Don't know. I mean, it's Talladega, right? It's restrictor plate racing. All these cars are equal. We talked to Justin Boyles on TR's Corner earlier in the week, and he made a comment. I'm a fan of NASCAR, and I've never thought about it this way. He says, in everything that has changed in the past years in NASCAR, of all things, restrictor plate racing has become the most pure form because all the cars are the same on the track, which is what stock car racing is. So maybe these guys got up front, realized the other cars were a little too jostly, and they bounced back because they know they've got the same car to come up front later. But I see Mike Lepicki's not going with him.
No, it looks like Mike Lepicki is back there in 17th. He is going to hang out with the lead pack. Again, not really sure of the strategy there. It could be one of those split strategies. I'll tell you, Mike Lepicki is very, very, very good at restrictor plate racing.
Yes, he is. He had some bad luck, I think, in our last restrictor plate race last season to get a little Jason trip on the restart there. Just hot tires, late race, a lot of nerves going on. They spun, got together. But these cars right now, I'm looking at them. Lepicki's holding line. You see the bottom row and the top row. They're just spreading out. They're not staying together. That's going to cause the backpack to catch up to them pretty quick.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the backpack wants to catch up to them, but that's going to cause some trouble later on in the race if something like this happens again.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see Baudler, who pitted there. Look at him. He's taking his own line. He's side drafting that outside line. He wants to get back up to the front. He's done it all on his own. But I'll tell you what, it's kind of like, what's that movie, Sean? Is that Days of Thunder, right? With Randy Quaid?
Oh, yeah, with Randy Quaid. That's correct, yep.
Yeah, so I think Randy Quaid played Rick Hendrick in that movie. Steak Dance Racing and Daniel Baudler are not part of SRN, but I saw Danny Dow and a couple of the other SRN cars there for a minute get up behind them, and that's their engine they're pushing. So they'll see if they can help get the 6 car up to the front as well.
Well, we do have Bobby Brill up front right now, but we would be crazy not to mention number 57 there, Adam Pettit. Welcome back up to the front of the pack, buddy.
Yeah, Adam Pettit in the 57. He was very competitive early on in the season. Had a little bit of run of bad luck at Atlanta. I know he was really frustrated. We saw him get in the back of a car there late in the race, and now he's back running in second right behind Bobby Brill. Don't think it's going to take him very long if he gets his teammate behind him passing.
No, not at all. And then the newcomer to Wild Bill Motorsports, that's Greg Olnick. He is up in third on that top row there. So Wild Bill making their presence known. There's Chris Massey right underneath him.
Yeah, the 83 and the 84.
Oh, and we got a spin.
Oh.
We got a spin. We don't have a caution yet. No caution yet. That was Brad Yonkman. And I think Brandon Arciero that went off pace there. We will have to take a look at that.
Yeah, still following him up front here, Sean. You see the 84 of Olnick. He's coming up on that outside lane, and you've got his teammate Massey down low. But, man, what a run they get behind Troy Dow.
And really, really fast, as long as they're playing nice right now. Let's jump back and let's see if we can see what happened to Brad Yonkman and Brandon Arciero.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, and that's Brad Yonkman. He just gets spun down in the infield. Oh, that's Baudler, too. Did you see that? Baudler is down there as well with Brandon Arciero. That is not good.
I did. I saw that. They've got the fast repairs. I'm not sure if Baudler used one, and I can't really tell what happened there on that replay. but definitely those guys lost it. Not sure if they got loose, what happened there back in the pack, but took out Baudler, which is not what he wanted to see tonight, his first week back.
It looks like Baudler is in the pits. Let's take a look and see what happens to – oh, yeah, he just gets spun by our Sierra there. Oh, my goodness. Hard hit. He is definitely going to have to use one of his fast repairs, and we're still under green, which makes it even more difficult for him.
Yeah, because he's going to lose that draft. He can get his fast repair and get back out there, but I'll tell you what, it looks like he was pulling up on the car in front of him, just got him a little loose, backed out from there, and when you back out, the car behind you is going to catch you, and that's how he got spun.
Oh, that is going to spell damage and danger for Daniel Baudler. Looks like he's going to be at least one lap down. Oh, no, we got another spin. Now it's up top.
Oh, man, is that Olnick?
I think that was Olnick and Troy Dow. Still no caution. There it goes. There's the caution. Okay.
All right, there we go.
I was wondering what was going on there.
So we were talking about Boyles. Is Boyles up there on the lead lap, or is he a lap down?
No, he is a lap down. In fact, he is 2 laps down, if I'm reading that correctly. Let's go back and let's take a look and see what happened with Greg Olnick there. And so up top, Olnick, I'm not sure whether that was Troy's fault or Greg's, but he just gets turned, takes out Boyles, hits Pettit. Oh, the leaders are going to be damaged. Brill goes down to the bottom of the track. Oh my gosh, this is bad news, and this is why those teams are staying back. They want to stay away from all this stuff. Looks like Brill got back on the track safely. Looks like Pettit got back on the track safely. But yeah, we had some damage there.
Yeah, and it's not that it was the big one, right? We didn't see a bunch of cars wrecked per se, Sean, but we saw a lot of cars damaged. So that brings the fast repairs into play, because these guys are going to have to go into the pits. They're going to have to fix the sheet metal. And we're just now halfway through this race, close to it. These guys are not going to have a lot of resources left when we get these big wrecks later in the race.
Yeah, it looks like Wild Bill got involved there. Looks like a couple other guys fell off the track. But look at Troy Dow's car there at the bottom of your screen. That is some damage there. He is definitely going to have to use one of his fast repairs.
Oh, absolutely. He's got the whole front foot gone, hood's gone, bumper's gone, fenders are gone. He's going to have to come in and get that fast repair.
And here comes Pettit, Brill, a few others down to get new tires, probably to get some damage repaired. A lot of people going into the pits. Looks like the top 15 or so, 16 now. So a lot of people up in the lead are stopping it. It looks like everybody for the most part. We'll see if anybody stays out at all.
Yeah, pretty much everybody on the lead lap is going to come in and pit here. They've either got some sort of damage or they just want to get some fuel so they can make it to the end. I can tell you, again, that $5 Clean Racer Award from Paints by Night, not sure we're going to see that here tonight, Sean.
I don't think that's happening tonight. Just based on what we're seeing, we are just barely over halfway in this race. We've already had 3 cautions, a few other spins that didn't get cautions. I have a feeling that there's going to be some talking in the Discord channel tonight about people being at fault.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the tough things with these leagues is after the race, you get a lot of feelings that get hurt. You get a lot of these guys, they get in the moment. I mean, heck, I was in a race the other night on Friday night. I think you were calling it, Sean. I was sitting back, 10th, 11th, just happy to be there. At the end of the race, started pushing, got up to 6th, got up to 5th, thought, here we go, top 5 for the night, maybe a top 3. Guy goes in the grass, comes up, takes me out into the night. It's like a car accident on a two-way street. You never know what's going to happen. These guys get fired up about that tonight too. We'll be dealing with that in the Discord after the race.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, looks like Bobby Brill is going to regain the lead here. But right behind him, that's Danny Dow.
Danny Dow, he was involved in an accident a little bit earlier, had to use fast repair. I think he kept it clean since then. Danny Dow's always a contender. You know, we didn't pick him tonight because unfortunately we picked him the past couple of races and it hasn't boded well for him, but we'd love to see him up there up front.
Yeah, I think we made a promise to him that we would not pick him this week just because it hasn't helped ever since he won that first week. So maybe if we don't pick him, maybe it'll be good luck for him.
Absolutely. So, again, Danny Dow there in 3rd. part of that Team SRN stable of cars. They need a good showing tonight, Sean.
Well, here's a car that we haven't talked about either. Kyle Spees up in third place. You got to see this car, Thomas.
Yeah, Kyle Spees, the Iron Maiden car, one of my favorites. I love it. That's the Power Slave. Eddie Mummy we've talked about there before. I'm going to have to get with Kyle. We're going to have to put a Flight 666 or Number of the Beast, some sort of other album cover on there so we can encompass the entire catalog for Iron Maiden.
All right, so we got Adam Pettit back there in fourth right behind him. He did get some damage there, but it looks like he's back up and running. Didn't look like it hurt him too badly.
Yeah, and he's got that new orange Puma scheme, too. He's ran the green and black scheme quite a bit. That orange scheme, it's looking pretty fast out there, Sean.
Yeah, and then right behind him, you got Chris Massey in that Wild Bill Motorsports scheme, and then right next to him, Adam Pettit's teammate, Sean Dice.
Yeah, Dice got the new Raise Energy car. We've seen a lot of guys in iRacing. They get those partnerships with the Raise Energy. That car's looking pretty sharp tonight.
All right, and right behind him, we talked about him earlier, Joseph DuPont. He is a road course master, but look at him up towards the front.
He is, and that Toyota Supra for that 88's got a little bit of nose damage there. You know, he's not gone in and got his faster repair yet, but he's hanging back. He just wants to be up there running up front. Splitter's a little bit damaged, but DuPont's fast regardless.
And I don't know about you, but I ate my steak dance last night. Steak Dance Racing, that is Chad Wampler. If you have not tried Steak Dance seasoning, it is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I know somebody who uses it as much as they can. Danny Setzer, don't know if you're going to be watching this later, but Steak Dance, I ordered mine because of your Geno's buddy.
All right, well, let's jump back up front. We're going to go around turns 3 and 4 here, and then we are going to get back at it.
Yeah, and I'm going to note one more car up there, 24 Taylor Smith.
Let's see who else we got back here before we get started. Jay Graves Jr., we talked about him a little bit earlier today. He's got to have a good finish. He's up there in 10th right now. Looks like he's on his way.
Yeah, and you got the 18 inside of him with Brandon Browning in that Dent Wizard car. And like I was saying, the 24 Taylor Smith running very well in that camouflage 24 car.
All right, looks like we're going to get back to it. Bobby Brill, once again, going to bring us to the start. Let's see how good of a jump he gets. Danny Dow is pretty good at these jumps, though.
Danny Dow is a master of the restart. He's on the outside. Bobby Brill's inside. Here they go. Green, green, green. The one is off, and so is the 21 in chase.
Well, it looks like he didn't get a great start off of Danny Dow because Danny's moving right up next to him.
No, and Danny's a master again. I mean, whoever's behind him, he'll tell him, knock the bumper cover off of it because I want to get past this one car. If he gets down there in side drafts, oh, there he goes. You see him get down there close. If he's got, who is that, Pettit behind him?
That's Pettit right behind him, and then Chris Massey on the bottom side, and then Chad Wampler back up top.
Yeah, so he's got two fast cars above him. If he'll get down against their doors, if they stay stable, that outside line is going to come in with Dow out there.
And these top 6, they're just kind of hanging out right now. Hopefully everybody's being safe back in the back as well.
Oh, and Dow, a little bit of graphics break up there. Looks like he timed out. Hopefully he'll come back in. That's just a fluke.
Yeah, it looks like he's blinking pretty badly there. That is not what you want to happen here at Talladega.
No, especially in Talladega, especially when you're running up in the top 5. You do not want your internet to start going out. But it looks like he's back in now, so they're going to settle in. He's going to come up behind or beside the 87 there with Pettit still pushing him.
All right, well, we haven't done this all night yet, but we are going to pull up the Brookstone Animal Hospital mole hole cams.
Yeah, let's crank it up, Sean.
go. And we got a spin. Big spin back in the back. Let's go back and see if we can't figure out what happened there.
I'm looking for it on the caution there. Didn't catch it on the mulehole cam.
It looks like it
Very
was
cool.
Josh Witt.
Yeah, very cool angles, though, too, Sean, on those mulehole cams. So awesome to see those cars that fast, that sense of speed. Let's go back and see what happened to Josh Witt, because he was running, wasn't running too bad so far.
Let's take a look and see what happened here. Oh, it looks like, was that Schroeder? Schroeder gets turned, and Josh Witt just kind of bails out, it looks like. Let's get a little bit of a closer angle on that.
Yeah, unfortunately, he took a hard hit there, too, on that inside wall.
And we're going to take a look here. Look at Schroeder. He is already up in the air. Again, Striker Motorsports, that is not what they were wanting to do. They were not wanting to be in something like that. But let's take a look from this angle here and see. It looks like Brandon Browning gets touched a little bit. And, it just looks like he just kind of bailed out on that, which is exactly what I would do, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of tight racing right there. I mean, that's what happens. You get the packs close together. They're running hard. They're running fast. You get a run on somebody. Car sucks up. Boom. You got 2 or 3 cars pushing out in a wreck.
Yep, and there was nothing that touched him there that we saw. So he just kind of bailed out to try to get away from that wreck, and he hits the wall pretty hard. Doesn't look like too many others were affected. Well, let's go back and find out, because I see. Let's see, we got a couple other people that, looks. Oh, Mike Lepicki off the track
Lepicki
there, and then the 212 as well. That's Wayne Rayborn. He's an independent driver. So a couple people getting into it there on the end there as well. Yeah, they just got down to the bottom of the track, and there's just not much you can do when you're driving on grass.
Yeah, shame for Lepicki, too, because we were talking about him earlier in the race. Haven't really seen him running with his team tonight, though, Sean.
No, and I don't know if there's a miscommunication there or what. Usually they are bookend to bookend the entire race, and so not really sure what's going on there. But yeah, a lot of damage there. Here we are at Talladega once again. I'm sure some of these guys have already used their second fast repair. So with 25 laps to go, this could get interesting.
Yeah, and it will, because we're going to have some damaged race cars out there. We got 25 laps to go. They're getting lined up. We're probably going to go green here with, 23, 22 laps to go. Got a couple of guys there on the wave around, coming around. So you're going to see some cars up front you haven't seen yet. Matter of fact, we've got DuPont there in second. And we've got the, is that the 57 there in first, Sean?
That is the 87 of Sean Dice.
87.
Let's see if we can't get Sean Dice in the booth here for just a second.
Yeah, let's grab him up here real quick. Go down and pick him up out of Revved Racing. I'll let you give him a holler there, Sean.
All right, Sean Dice, how's it going, buddy?
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Man, doing good. We see you up front here. I know we haven't talked a lot about you all season. What's gotten into you tonight?
I don't know, man. Just got tired of running around in the back.
Well, obviously, you got a new paint scheme on the car tonight. Looks very, very good, very, very fast. You've been very aggressive up front. What's the strategy moving forward for the rest of the race?
Man, I'm kind of debating right now. My team fell back and they went ahead and pitted right there, but I'm playing the fuel save game right now to see what I can do up front. I know these guys get a really good start. I hate being on the inside on a restart. I'd rather be second, but I'll start the race like I would normally at the green flag, and if they get a run on me, they get a run on me, and I'll depend on getting a push somewhere to get back up there around turn 3, 4.
So you said that your team pitted. Do you have enough to go the distance here?
I am a half a gallon to the good, and I don't believe this is going to be our last caution, so I can probably save another half gallon or so.
25 laps to go. You're probably going to restart here on 23 to go. You got DuPont to your outside. He's good on these restrictor plate tracks. What do you got for him on the restart?
Man, like I said, I really hate starting these restrictor plates on the inside. It always seems like if you jump too soon, you get too far ahead and you get freight trained. If you wait till the green falls, then you get just turned. So So I'm just going to start the race like I normally would. If he gets a run, I'm not going to fight him too hard. I'm not going to drag brake and take a chance of getting spun. I'm just going to start it the way I normally would, and hopefully I'd get a push somewhere to catch back up to him around turn 3, turn 4, and wait for my team to get back up here, put Revved Racing back on the top of the team standing.
Sounds good, man. Well, we'll let you get back to your team down there. Tell them that we said hello. Hopefully we see you in Victory Lane.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys. And awesome job on the broadcast. You guys are doing great.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Take care. Good luck.
All right, so we're going to restart with Dice on the inside. Like you said, not really the place he wants to be. He likes the outside a little bit better. Then we got Joseph DuPont, who we've spoken a lot about him. This has kind of been a down year so far for him, even though he is in the playoffs right now. It's kind of been he's better than this. And so here he is up in second place. This is the Joseph DuPont that we know.
Yeah, it is, and he puts in a lot of hard work. I mean, again, he's big on road racing, but he's great on these ovals, and he's really, really good on these restrictor plates. So seeing him up here in second is not a surprise. We just need to see him capitalize on a victory at some point, if not tonight, at some point this season.
Well, let's talk about his teammate, Justin Kruckman, right behind him in the 19 car. We don't really see him up front very often, but there he is, and right next to him, Duncan Staroska as well. That's 3 guys from H2K who we said they need a really good race, and here they are, 3 of them in the top 5.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier, Sean, we said after that caution there's going to be a lot of guys up front you probably didn't recognize or haven't heard. And now you got 3 of the same teammates up there. They've had some bad luck. He's been caught up in some stuff. You've really, really got Kruckman, who's been caught up in some stuff, some of it not his own fault. So these guys need a good finish. If not one of them, all of them. So here they go on the restart. Let's see what they can make happen.
Well, you can see the fans are not social distancing here, but we're going to come back to the green flag. Sean Dice is going to lead the way. Joseph DuPont right next to him. And it's just a matter of when does Sean push that gas.
We're going to see him come to the restart here. Again, it's not in the tri-oval. Here they go. They're green, Sean, and they are moving.
Sean Dice with an excellent jump, but we're 3 wide back towards the back already.
Yeah, Sean Dice, you got Wampler behind him, who's already gotten past DuPont. Wampler, man, he is venomous. He is going to catch him. He reminds me a lot of a Kevin Harvick / Kyle Busch. If they had a stake dance baby, that's who'd be driving the 812, because he is tough, man. He is very tough.
He is one of those that he is not afraid to send it, and that's what he's doing right now. He is not afraid to go after it. He is not holding back. He is going to go for that win.
Absolutely not. 23 to go. I mean, it is a 2.66 mile track, but at the same time, that's not a lot of laps. Right now, you're thinking about the finish. You're setting your car up to say, okay, where do I need to position myself to be able to get the best spot available for me to finish in? And if that's the win, you're Chad Wampler. You're setting Sean Dice up right in front of you.
Man, so far a fantastic race. Not nearly as many cautions as we were thinking, but coming to almost 20 to go now, this is where everything starts to happen.
Yeah, 20 to go. Like I said, you're already setting it up. You've got, I mean, look at that, man. You got Sean Dice, you got Chad Wampler, you got Joseph DuPont, you got Kruckman behind him. You got cars you haven't been talking about, and then here comes Bobby Brill on the outside.
Oh, yellow flag, big wreck, big wreck.
Oh, man, look at that.
Big wreck in the back.
Cars.
Let's take a look and see if we can't figure out what happened back there. That was a massive wreck.
Yeah, that might take out a lot of those guys who were sitting back there waiting too, Sean. We're going to have to wait and see who it was.
It looks like we might get Mike Lewis involved. Oh, no, it looks like, is that Adam Pettit? Adam Pettit gets turned by Massey. Massey gets down into Lipicki. Mike Lewis has nowhere to go.
Yeah, and Pettit's trying to correct the car right in front of Lewis, and he gets it corrected, but it's too late. These cars suck up on each other.
Looks like Taylor Smith gets involved. Looks like Troy Dow might get nope, Troy Dow made it through.
He made it right through. You got Mike Lewis.
Oh, no, that's Danny Setzer. Sorry, that's Danny Setzer. Yeah, Mike Lewis
Setzer
gets into Travis Trevelyan there. So just a lot of damage, and then up top, that's Jay Graves. Oh, no, he needed a good finish. That is not going to help him there.
Oh, and Jay Graves and Mike Lewis both. Those guys have been running a whole lot better tonight. They've been really focused on their cars and their team. Hate to see them involved there.
De Silva gets a little tap there from Trevelyan as well. Oh, man, a lot of damage in the back. That is going to change the entire race.
Yeah, poor De Silva, too, in that 555 car. I mean, that 555. Seems like he's involved in a wreck that's not his doing every single week.
Actually, I think it was Zimmerman that got into that. That's my fault. I said De Silva. That was Zimmerman that got tapped there as well. So, all right. So let's reset. 21 laps to go. Sean Dice up front. He says he's good on fuel. Chad Wampler sounds like he would be good because he pitted on the same lap. Joseph DuPont also pitted on lap 38. And then Bobby Brill, he pitted on lap 45. So top four there. They don't need to pit.
No, and you've got Krukman behind them. Good to see him with a good run. Olnick still right behind them in 6th. Staroska in 7th. Stan Hausman in 8th. Good to see him up there in the top 10. Troy Dow in 9th. Jake Roel in 10th. So it looks like you've got a couple of these Striker Motorsports cars starting to strike.
Yeah, it looks like 10th, 12th, and 13th is all Striker Motorsports. Travis Trevelyan's back in 32nd. He was involved in that wreck, but he still is on the lead lap right now. So maybe not too much damage there, but right now currently, just based on the scoring that I see, I believe we have 33 on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's still a heck of a lot of cars, Sean, to have on the lead lap because 33 cars can be under about a 2-second blanket when they're in the draft here at Talladega. So, again, it's still anybody's race to win, and with 20 to go, they're going to come to the green here probably with about 18 to go. They're still going to be thinking about how to pass the car in front of them very quickly.
Hey, let me pull up somebody's name that you haven't said at all tonight, really, but we always love watching them. Brandon Browning. Back here, he is in 13th position. He has been talking all week. This is his track.
Yeah, and Brandon Browning, he just knows how to feel the car moving across the track behind other cars in the draft. He's in that number 18 Dentwizard car in that blue and white, very bright paints by night scheme he's got there with butt kicker on the side as well. Brandon Browning should have a great finish here tonight. We did talk about him once, but then after I talked about him, he cursed me the other night. I think I cursed him in reverse because he cut a car across his front bumper. So I'll leave the talking about Brandon to you for the rest of the evening, Sean.
You know, the other guy that we haven't really talked about that is with Flashpoint Racing, Matt Johnson. Matt Johnson is back here in 27th. He's still on that lead lap. He is just waiting for the time to go after this.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about a lot about Matt Johnson, but you can see that car. He's been back in the pack. It's tore up. You can see all of the bug chips and the rubber across the front of that, but strong showing by Flashpoint Racing tonight.
Well, it looks like we're going to get everybody. We got one more lap to go under caution here, and then I think we're going to get back to it. Yep, the pace car's lights are out, so one more run around this track. Let's go back and talk about a couple more of these guys here really quick. So we talked about Matt Johnson. The other member of Flashpoint Racing that we haven't talked about is Jonathan Byer up in 21st position.
Yeah, and Byer, he's not had a good run of luck. He's had a lot of struggles early in the season. He's been caught up in a lot of accidents, but we know what type of driver he is. We saw him in the preseason, some exhibition races. Looking forward with his new team. Let's see if they can get it together, get on the same page, and I think you'll see Byer up front quite a bit.
And right next door to him, that is Marshall Stanley. So all four of the Flashpoint Racing team, we've talked about them a little bit tonight. So Marshall is just kind of biding his time as well.
Now I want to point something out. Look on his quarter panel there. He's already got Flashpoint Racing on the quarter panel. The other cars don't quite have the numbers on it yet or the liveries. They just announced it this week, so it's still pretty fresh. Marshall Stanley was the last one to get on the team, and he's already got the liveries on the car. So you know he wants to be there. You know he's looking for big things.
Man, it is always fun to have one of those drivers on your team that just wants to drive, and that is Marshall Stanley.
Yeah, so we still got the 87 up front. You got Wampler there. Like I said, man, he's like a little mud shark. He's ready to get up there and race them. He wants to win this race. Got Bobby Brill behind him, who's just been up there all day, and Joseph DuPont, who's due a win. But I'll tell you what, Dice, he's holding it down.
He's holding it down right now, but 3 of the top 7 are H2K Motorsports right now, so maybe they have something up their sleeves as well.
Well, if they can get together with 19 laps to go, 18 when they take the green flag, if they can get together and get against that yellow line, they will be very, very hard to beat.
All right, well, we're going to have Sean Dice bringing us to the line. I'll tell you that his 2 teammates that are still on the lead lap are back in 26th and 27th. And then he does have a teammate that's off the lead lap as well. So he doesn't have any help up front right now, but maybe that's by design.
Well, you can see they're pretty even there on the restart. They are stacking up, nose to tail as they're coming to the green. Who is that going to the outside there, Sean?
That looks like Jake Rowell from Striker Motorsports went out to the outside. He's off on an eye. Oh, and we've already got some trouble.
Yeah, it looks like they're scattering. Hopefully they can hold it together. But you've got Striker Motorsports. We're not waiting anymore.
No, oh, we've got big damage in the back. Huge damage. Looks like, wow, a lot of people involved in that. Looks like Matt Johnson, who we just talked about, was involved. I think that all started, I think we had, I want to say it was Justin Kruckman just kind of get into a little bit of trouble there. Let's see if we can pull up and find out what happened.
Yeah, and it looked like Kruckman got in a little bit of trouble. The Ford car, I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, there's what happened.
Just
there.
Off pace. And so let's back that up just a little bit. Let's see if maybe we can see exactly what happened, because I saw Kruckman get down below that yellow line. I'm just not really sure why. Oh, and there you go. So we'll pull a different angle up here and we'll see that. But in fact, let's pull up another angle.
That was a long chain of events there, Sean. Looks like the 42 just gets up to the outside of him.
Yep.
Staroska comes down into the 19 of Kruckman.
I'm not sure he got down into it. I think Kruckman was trying to get back up onto the track, and so and then all sorts of damage in front of Kruckman. You can see all sorts of stuff going on there. So
we're going to have to get back with a race control and review that, because Kruckman's car was definitely not up to speed. I saw some flames shooting out the pipes. That's indicative of the throttle not being pushed down. That's unspent fuel. He just never got going there. So stack the whole field up. You watch the 4 car here take quite a ride over the hood of his teammate.
Oh, goodness. Everybody, everywhere. Not a good sign. And again, we only have so many of these fast repairs, and the question is, and we don't know this here in the booth, we don't know who has used which fast repairs, and so we don't know how many people that has actually taken out of the race until we get started again.
Well, we know it didn't take out the Striker Motorsports guys. We know that the guys up front back to the 84 are pretty good. So back to Olnick, they're in pretty good shape. So the guys who have been fast are still going to be up there. But look at that. Jake Rowell in 6th, pulling up right behind Olnick in the 84. Going to be quite the challenge with 17 laps to go now that you got Striker Motorsports up there. Remember, Sean, they've won all 3 of the last 3 races.
They have. They've been on a tear, but the one thing they have not won is a restrictor plate race. And so this is they're very good at it. Let me be very clear on that. So Dean Brummett and Jake Rowell are very, very good on restrictor plate races, and Andrew Schroeder as well as Travis Trevelyan are not bad. And so you get those 4 cars hooked up, somebody is going to make a run.
Well, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different teams in the top 5 spots. That's the type of racing I think we want to see this year, Sean.
Yeah, but take a look at this. Chad Wampler up in 3rd. His teammates are 10, 11, and 12. So they've got 3 in the top 12. Looks like Stake Dance Racing is not here to play today.
No, they're not. And Houseman's blinking out a little bit. Hopefully it's just under caution. But again, you can throw a blanket over this field within about 2 seconds on these restarts. If they stay nose to tail, it's anyone's race. And if you get any of them, Revved Racing, Tank Racing, H2K's been running 3 or 4 cars up there in the top 10. You get Stake Dance Racing up there. Surprised SRN has not been up there, but we know Brandon Browning's pretty close. Any of these teams have a chance to win. a matter of fact, there's Browning right there in, what is that, 7th?
That's in 8th place. And so once again in that Dent Wizard car, he absolutely loves this track. And so don't ever count out Brandon Browning. In fact, in the past 2 weeks, he has had 2 races where he has restarted 10th place on a green-white checker and ended up in 1st. So don't ever count out Brandon Browning.
No, not at all. And I know he's been really, really going at it in the Discord about the excitement of winning those races and coming from behind in such a short period of time. So obviously he's got momentum on his side. We'll see if he can do it here again tonight.
All right, and so we've got one more lap to go around here, and then we are going to get started one more time. So we're going to get started with 14 laps to go. What's your strategy, Thomas?
Well, my strategy with 14 laps to go is if I'm up there in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, if I'm top 10, Sean, I'm just going to hang down on the yellow line. I'm going to stay in line, and I'm going to wait. And I'm going to see if I can get a dance partner to go with me. If I can, I'm going to test the waters a little bit early because we'll have 14 laps to go. But if I can't, I'm just going to take what I got and pack it up and go home and enjoy my place I got. Because if not, I'm probably going to end up in a wreck.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling the team, the Striker Motorsports team, we were talking about what lap they wanted to go on, and the general consensus was 5 to 6 to go. But we've seen some longer green flag racing this week than we did back in the first week, and so maybe they're getting a little antsy. Maybe they're about to start going themselves.
Well, and I would say they probably want that, Sean, because they expect a caution, and if they can get to the front and get that caution, they can stay up front. But I just don't see that outside line working. It's just not pushing. These guys aren't staying in line. We've watched several of these green flag runs where they're all over the place. They fan out on the backstretch. They try to come together going into the corners, and they're not getting enough of that draft or that push on each other. I don't think the outside line is going to be much of a factor. And if it is, we'll see another caution.
Well, if it's not a factor, then all Sean Dice has to do is hug that yellow line all the way around, and nobody's going to be able to catch him.
Well, that's in a perfect world. But in a perfect world, Joseph DuPont isn't going to sit behind him. He's going to make a move, and so is Chad Wampler, and so is Bobby Brill, and so is the 84 behind them. And I can tell you right now, I see Roel swinging it like Dale Jr. warming up those tires from one lane to the third lane. He ain't waiting either, so we'll see what happens.
A lot of guys out there want to win this race. This is one of those races besides Daytona that it really puts a feather in your cap. You really want Talladega.
Again, I'm not sure what they're doing sitting behind there. Behind Roel, I see.
We're single lane, so we're single lane cautions now. So looks like we've got Sean Dice is going to get us started, and then Joseph DuPont right behind him going to push him.
And here they go, green, green, green. As they come through the tri-oval here, holding it back just a little bit.
So usually those single lane restarts happen when there's been too many cautions, and so that's up to race control. But here goes Sean
Correct.
Dice.
Here they go, green, green, green. Dice is off. DuPont's not far behind him. Look at Wampler, already on the outside, 3 wide with Roel going outside of him.
Yeah, Roel doesn't have a dance partner right now, so he might just be better to tuck in right behind Brill, but he's going to try to make it stick out there.
Well, if Brill stays close to him on the outside, he's going to get that side draft, and with Wampler in front of him, they're not going to have much help. But look at Brandon Browning coming here on the outside. He's making the big run there, trying to find somebody to run with in either the outside group or that middle group.
Yeah, he restarted in 8th. He's up to 7th, but big group right in front of him, all 3 wide, going for 2nd, 3rd right now. Oh, and yeah. Jake Roel into the wall, and we've got a wreck. That's Browning around. That's 84 also around. All sorts of damage going on.
Yeah, and that was a quick snap wreck that happened there. I don't know who made it through it, but it ended up collecting a lot of cars. That might end up determining who's going to continue running and who's not, because a lot of these guys didn't have fast repairs left, Sean, from my assumptions.
Huge wreck, and it takes out the entire lead pack. Look at all the people that are not there. This is going to get interesting. So let's go back. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out what happened. It looks like Bobby Brill gets a little loose, takes out Jake Roel. Jake Roel comes down, takes out, oh man, just everywhere after that. It just
crazy.
Damage everywhere.
net coating, touching, everything. Because look at the 84. Looked like a little net coating on the 1, knocked him down the 18. 18's out.
Everybody's just gone right now. And down there at the bottom, looks like Danny Dow's involved, Troy Dow's involved, looked like Corey Knight was involved as well. The 84 as well involved there. So all sorts of damage. Looks like Brandon Arciaro will get through there. But that was a huge caution. Let's see if we can get another couple views here.
Yeah, let's take another look, maybe another angle.
Yeah, let's go up to the chopper cam, because usually we can see or actually the blimp. Here we go. So we can see a few more things here. Well, that's not from that angle. We can't. So there we go. So man, we got Troy Dow way hard up into the wall. Looks like Baudler gets collected down there on the bottom as well. The 42 gets hit. Looks like Mike Lewis.
Yeah,
such a good run for him, and that's going to end that one. Looks like Derek Da Silva gets involved as well. All sorts of damage there. So, what do we do now, man? What do we do?
Well, you know what, Sean? We're going to call somebody up here in the booth. Let's call up Chad Wampler. He's been up there racing hard, and be curious to see what his strategy is with about 10 to go here. Chad, you got a copy?
I sure do, sir.
Man, you have been running very, very hard up front tonight. A lot of chaos behind you. What's it take to get up there to the front from where you started?
Patience, 100% patience. That's all I've been trying to practice today. And now it's getting down to the wire, and I'm just getting ready to see what I can do to stick it in there. But we're gonna just do our best to keep it cool.
Well, man, it looks like you had a lot of help up there earlier, but it looks like a few of your teammates got taken out in that wreck. So here you are up there on an island. Can you do it without a teammate?
That's the goal. I think I can. I've got some other guys out here I know I can work with. Just see if they're willing to work with me. Hope so.
Well, you got DuPont behind you. We know he's a great restrictor plate driver. You guys have been in a lot of practices this week. I mean, as far as the league goes, have you worked with him any at all in practice?
We've worked back and forth a little bit here and there, but the real trick right now with the single file restart is just going to be difficult, just knowing if he's going to go with me on the outside and when to take that chance. But we'll just see what happens. I'm trying to try to work with somebody if they're going to work with me.
Well, buddy, we appreciate you being here, and we just love watching you go around in that stake dance racing car. I know a lot of us have had stake dance racing or stake dance seasoning. It is absolutely phenomenal. If you put it in victory lane, I promise you I will eat a steak tomorrow.
Man, I'm eating a steak tonight. I'm just letting you know that, whether I win or not. The steak's going to happen tonight. So go to steakdance.com, guys. Get yourself some steak dance and love it, all right?
Awesome, Chad. Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing you run up front here. Thanks for joining us in the booth.
Thank you.
All right, so that's our second place restarter here. But up front, we have Sean Dice from Revved Racing holding his own, even though he doesn't like that inside line at all. He is holding his own at the front.
Yeah, and I think we cursed them here, Sean, because we were talking about how good they were running, and there's not a lot of cautions. And next thing you know, we got 3 consecutive restarts with single file. So, hopefully they can run it out here to the end, but I don't think so.
Well, the broadcaster's curse is real, but if we don't talk about people, then we don't have a broadcast.
I'm talking about the race in general, so hopefully the entire field won't get taken out.
Oh, man, it has been a good race so far. We are coming up to 10 laps to go. It'll be a 10-lap shootout to see who wins the Shake and Bake 185.
Yes, you got Dice there running in first. He's going to be our starter on the restart. You got Chad Wampler behind him. Behind him, you have, and I can't see him here on the screen, Sean Joseph DuPont in the 88. Then you got the 46 Lepicki. We talked about him a little bit. He's been involved in a couple accidents tonight, but there he is running fourth.
Well, really, Lepicki is one of those racers, and he is phenomenal at racing in general. But he's one of those guys that he gets into a little bit of trouble here and there, but he always ends up being up front at the end.
Absolutely, and I know he's due on a restrictor plate like we talked about last season. He was running second on a restart, had a good chance to win, ended up in a restart caution with Jason Tripp. Race didn't go his way, but tonight he's got a really good shot. And then look right there behind him. Is that the 18 of Brandon Browning?
That is the 18, and even though he got into a little bit of trouble there on that wreck, it looks like he is okay. It looks like he's out there, and right behind him, Andrew Schroeder, who took a spin a little earlier as well. So a lot of cars out there that have been involved in some accidents, but those fast repairs come in handy.
Yeah, and Schroeder was he hit the wall hard. I mean, we saw the suspension on that car and the wheels completely decompress and come out, and now he's right up there running with the leaders. All
right, but we are going to have Sean Dice bringing us back to the green flag. Looks like the pace car is going to dip off, and then we've got a little straightaway here, and then we are going to get right back to it. 10 laps to go for all the money, all the pride, all the glory here at the Shake and Bake 185.
And they're going to come through the tri-oval here, Sean, and take that long, slow ride down to that restart line. And we'll see what Dice does here. He's all on his own. Nobody outside of him, but Wampler strong behind him.
And here they go. And that's going to benefit Sean Dice, too, because nobody next to him, he doesn't have to worry about what they're doing. He just takes off and goes for it.
Yeah, and green, here they go. And into the turn one with Wampler behind him. Oh, wow, they're already moving outside.
Oh, we already have a yellow back in the back. I'm not sure where it got loose there. I'm not really sure what happened. Let's see if we can find out.
Yeah, that's odd that we had a caution that early, Sean. I mean, single file restarts, I would think would have to be somebody spinning the tires or trying to get a run on the pack. Who knows? But we're going to go back and find out.
I'm not sure I'm seeing. Oh, there we go. There it is right there. So you saw the 96 get a little bit out of it. So it looks like Danny Dow kind of got into a little something. So let's go back and see if we can see that one more time.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see from Dow's in car. I don't know if he got outside here. He's got to run. The 96, you can clearly see him moving up above that white line.
Looks like Danny hit the wall a little bit, but 2 cars in 1 lane is not going to work at all. So that's Joe Ruggles. He gets spun there, takes out the 212 of Wayne Rayburn as well. And then looks like Bobby Brill made it through safely. So just a quick little caution there, but that's going to probably bring us up to 5 to go.
Yeah, so we're going to be down to about 5 or 6 to go, Sean. And, next caution is going to put us in green-white checkered territory, which is not what we were expecting this evening. And we had such a great run. We had great, clean running, green flag running, and then we got down to about those last 20 laps, and it seems like every restart we're having a caution.
Yeah, and it looks like Danny Dow will come down pit lane. We'll see what's going on there. Not really sure what happened with a few of these guys. It looks like the scoring's just kind of catching up a little bit, so we will jump back out to the front where we have Sean Dice still leading with Chad Wampler just behind him.
You know what, Sean, while we're here under caution, we ought to talk about the guy who's been caught up in accidents but still hanging up there, Brandon Browning. Let's see if maybe we can bring him up and talk to him for a minute.
That'd be great. Brandon Browning, how's it going, buddy?
We'll say it's going great.
Well, I see the back of your car. It's got a little bit of denting involved, but you are making it run perfectly.
I'm driving her for what she's worth right now, ma'am.
So, Brandon, you have raced your way up there. You've had quite a bit of struggle getting up there, caught up in some stuff that wasn't your own fault. You got any fast repairs left, bud?
Nah, we had a game plan to ride around at the back, and a couple of guys riding didn't want to do it, so we went for it and used the first one. Was kind of minding my own business after that, and used the second one, minding my own business after that. And here we are with a damaged race car, man. So just trying to hold on and hope about the 5 cars in front of me wreck on the white flag.
Well, you've been talking all week about how this is one of your favorite tracks, and so you have a ton of experience here. Is experience something that's going to help you here?
Absolutely. This is one of the biggest, I think, experience tracks here, being, just having the experience to know where to go and when to go. And that's what I've pretty much done, is trying to pick my battles. There's a couple of cars that would, think that we had a few last laps already, but, you just got to be smart and take your car where you need to be. And if I can be in the top 2 or 3 coming to the checkered, I think I can get it done, man.
Brandon, we've had quite quite a bit of good green flag racing up till about 20 laps to go, and then all of a sudden we've had 3 and 4 cautions in the past 12 laps. Do you think we're going to see the same here with about 6 laps to go, or do you think it's going to go green?
I think we'll be at least one green, white checkered, which I guess, if we don't get it going here, we'll be right in the green, white checkered window. So I know that's easy to say. I hate it because I know, I've raced around a lot of these guys. I was in pretty much all the practices, and I know these guys are good drivers, but it's crunch time. We're all running for the same prize, and only one guy's going to get it. So I hope we stay. Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I hope we go to a green, white checkered. I don't know that I've got the car to hang with these leaders with the damage that I've got. So green, white checkers work better for me.
Sounds good, buddy. Well, we'll let you get back to it. Good luck. Hope to see you in victory lane.
Appreciate it, man. I hope to be there.
Hey, good luck, Brandon.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Brandon Browning's going to try to bring a damaged car home. This is going to get really interesting because if Brandon, who rode in the back most of the race, if he is out of fast repairs, how many of these other guys are out of fast repairs too?
Well, I'd say most of them are, but I'll tell you some guys that aren't. It's the Striker Motorsports guys again, Sean. They've just hung back there. You talked about their team strategy tonight. I know. I think it was Roel got caught up in one, but between them, well, Schroeder got caught up in one, but between them and some of the H2K guys, I think there's still some cars left out there that have a few fast repairs left. So be interesting when we go to green, white checker.
Yeah, we got 2 H2K guys in the top 10. We got Joseph DuPont in 3rd and Josh Wood in 8th. We got 2 Revved Racing guys up in the top 10. That's Sean Dice and Brian O'Shell. Looks like we've got 2 Tank Racing guys up in the top 10. That's Mike Lepicki and Derek Da Silva. So we've got some teammates that are up there. Striker Racing or Striker Motorsports only has 1 up there in the top 10. That's Andrew Schroeder, and his next teammate is back in 15th and 16th. So he might not be in the best position here.
No, he might not be, and it's different for Talladega because we do have these consecutive cautions where if they happen on the restarts, we're running single file. Typically, on a restart here at Talladega, you're going to put the entire field under a blanket because they're side by side, but nose to tail like this in single file restart, it doesn't help you starting 10th back. Whereas normally you could be as close to the 2nd, 3rd, or even 4th place guy as anybody else if you were starting 10th. Not going to help you here tonight. So 15th for Striker Motorsports. Who was that starting 15th? Jake Roel?
That's Dean Brummett, and then Travis Trevelyan up in 16th. Jake Roel's back in 20th. So there is a lot of space between them and Andrew Schroeder up there in 5th. But again, the other person that's out on an island, Chad Wampler, he's up in 2nd. His nearest teammate is in 28th.
Yeah, so you're not going to be able to get that run and that catch up that you would normally get starting side by side. And it's kind of funny here because we're watching Dice. Look where he's running. He's up there on that high line. He's going to force them to go up there so they can't pass him. Get a good run off on this restart.
Very interesting and savvy move for him to start up at the top where he likes it anyway.
Yeah, he does, and he talked about that earlier, and you see a couple of cars in the back already dropping down, kind of jostling to see if they can get a run, or they're taking a look to see what's going on. This could get interesting on the restart.
They got to be really careful.
Yeah, they do.
All right, here we go. Sean Dice is going to lead them on that outside line. Once again, a very savvy move by him.
Yeah, so here we go. We're going to take the green flag, cross to the checkers. And we have 6 laps to go as Sean Dice is in 1st with Chad Wampler following and Joseph DuPont close behind.
No, Chad Wampler's not following anybody. He's jumping out to the outside. He is going to try to take it on his own.
Yeah, let's see if he gets that side draft. He sounded really, really confident. We talked to him just a minute ago in the in-car interview, but he has nobody going with him, Sean. It might leave him hung out to dry.
Yeah, it looks like Brian O'Shell is out there. Oh, and so is Andrew Schroeder out there in the 44. So top line might get a little bit of a push here, but Schroeder's got to get a little bit closer to him.
Yeah, so for Schroeder to get up there and run behind Wampler like this at the front, what a win, man. No matter where he finishes, because we saw him get taken out early, and he had a hard hit on that car, left the ground. So to see him up there running again, that's awesome.
So he's one of those drivers that is not in the playoffs yet due to points, and so a huge points win, even if he doesn't win the race, would be great for him.
Yeah, coming to 5 to go. Hopefully these guys can keep it straight and they can stay on task and race each other for the win. Because if we can keep it great, we're going to see a very exciting finish here.
Well, you got Sean Dice. He is staying down there on the bottom. He doesn't want to give up any position at all to Chad Wampler, but Chad has actually taken the lead.
Chad's up in the lead. I don't know if he's cleared just yet at Dice. He's trying to get down there. Oh, he's trying to pinch down there, but you got DuPont behind Dice. He's going to keep pushing him. LePicky up there. He's going to keep pushing. Then you got Brandon Browning there in that 18 car. He didn't sound too happy when you talked to him, but you know he's got a good, fast hot rod.
Well, the struggle here is if Wampler passes Dice and clears him and goes down to the bottom, that leaves Schroeder, who pushed Wampler the whole time, out all by himself.
It does, but remember, they're not teammates, so there's no love lost there. And Chad Wampler would love to put that State Dance Racing 12 up there in front. He's not worried about what Striker Motorsports and Schroeder have going on, but you can see him there jostling back and forth, which is just giving more head of steam to Dice in the 88 car than DuPont. So you're going to see them start trying to pass each other. You see them 4 wide back there. This is going to get real interesting, Sean.
Yeah, Roel got into the wall there. We're about to go 3 wide back there in about 5th and 6th place. But up front, Sean Dice holding that lead.
Yes, he is, but Wampler's right there on his quarter panel. If Schroeder can get behind him and get tucked up, they can have a good push. But you've got the Tank Racing car there on the outside. You can see them gaining ahead of momentum too, causing a 3rd lane. You got Striker Motorsports behind them.
That's right. AJ Pritchett on that outside. We talked about him a little earlier. He led the race for a while. He is up on that outside. He's being pushed by 2-time winner Dean Brummett.
Yeah, and we hadn't talked about Dean all night, but as Dean is pushing him, you see Chad Wampler in the 12 get down in front of Dice. He's got a clean run for first place right now if he can just keep it down around that yellow line. But we got 3 lanes of racing going with 3 to go.
Yeah, not really good move to shuffle back and forth the way they're doing back there, but they're making it work for now.
Yeah, and they're not staying together in that lower line. You can see Dean up there with A.J. Pritchett. Dean is staying right on him. I know they're not teammates, but I can imagine Dean saying, I'm right with you. I'm right with you. You just hold your line, because they are getting a run. And we have not seen that 3rd line work all night long, Sean.
Well, now you got Schroeder on an island in the middle there. That is not where he wants to be. Oh, but he can dip down right now if he can. And Schroeder is going to take the lead.
It's Talladega, restrictor plate racing. Anything can happen. You see Dice there. He's falling all the way back. Wampler to 3rd. You got the 00 of Marshall Stanley.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's up there. Of course he is. But you got Schroeder. Oh, we are jostling all over the place. This is so tough to keep track of who's where. But look at the 54. That is Brian O'Shell from Revved Racing. He is up there challenging for the lead now.
Man, this is exciting, Sean. You got O'Shell up there. You got guys we haven't talked about all night. The right here at the end. As long as we take the white flag here, we're going to see a complete race. So you got Wampler there. You got O'Shell. You got Marshall Stanley on the outside. 3 lanes of racing.
Oh, no! And there it goes.
Oh,
nope. Yellow flag. So we are going to have a green-white checker. Oh, wow. That is going to do a lot of damage. I am not sure what really happened there, but that's going to take out half the pack.
I can tell you what happened there, Sean. Nerves and excitement. Nerves and excitement. 3 wide racing. They just got too close together, and it was great. Let's see who got into who.
And it looks like we got O'Shell in the 54 up top, and then looks like the 66. And I'm trying to see exactly who the 66 is. My apologies to you, number 66. That's Jonathan Byer from Flashpoint Racing. And then he and O'Shell just get tangled up, and that causes everything. That causes all sorts of damage in the back. Looks like we got Roel that made it through. Looks like the 36 of Kyle Spees made it through, the 87, as well as Sean Dice. So still got some guys that made it through there, but looks like we had a lot of damage. Let's take a look one more time. Let's see this. Let's go back and take a look at let's take a look and see if we can see this from Sean Dice, or actually not Sean Dice, I apologize, it's the number 54.
Yeah, Brian O'Shell.
Yep.
Let's see if we can see it from O'Shell's car, because that was just some good tight racing there. They came back across the line 3 wide. These guys are racing for a win, okay? It's no holds barred. Everything's off the table. O'Shell looks like he got a little bit loose there. They're wiggling. Wampler's wiggling. And it's just product of racing there, Sean.
Well, so you saw LePicky there as well, so we talked about him a little bit. Let's see that one more time. Let's see if maybe, this is going to be a great view of it. So look at all those cars there. That's probably 20 cars easily up there in that lead pack. And you are going to see the number 66 just barely turn Brian O'Shell. And then that starts everything. And looks like Dean Brummett gets involved there, the 79 of A.J. Pritchett, who's been running great all night. Looks like Danny Setzer, who we haven't even talked about tonight. Looks like Travis Trevillion's involved from Striker Motorsports. Brandon Browning's definitely involved in that, so that's probably going to end his night. All sorts of carnage.
Yeah, we talked to Browning before that restart, and you could tell he was already out of fast repairs. He was excited about the car and the run he got, but he wasn't excited about what was left in the race. And you see what happens to him there.
Well, he's never going to talk to us again after this.
Probably not, but again, we can't keep bringing up the broadcaster's curse.
So let's reset here. So Andrew Schroeder up front in first position. Chad Wampler, who's been pushing all day for that top spot, he is right behind. Jake Rowell, that's Andrew Schroeder's teammate, he's up in third. Sean Dice from Revved Racing in fourth. Looks like we got Kyle Spees in fifth, and then Joseph DuPont right behind him in sixth. And take a look at Travis Trevillion's car. He's still out there on the track. I guess he's out of fast repairs. He's going to try to make it work with that car.
Yeah, and he's going to try and make it work. But like you said, you got Spees up there in that Iron Maiden car. You got DuPont behind him. Bumper missing off of the car behind him. Then you got Brandon Browning. He's still there, man. He's hanging tough. I know that little hot under the helmet there, but let's see what he can get done here at the end of the race.
And then somebody we haven't really talked about, Josh Witt from H2K Motorsports. He's up there. He's got a lot of damage also, but really here at Talladega, if you can just push, if you can just get in that draft, that type of damage right there isn't the be-all and end-all.
No, it isn't. You would think it would be at a downforce track where you got to have a good slick body, but these cars in front of him will punch a huge hole in the air. And as long as he can stay tucked in behind him, the arrow won't matter as much on his front hood. Now, if he tries to get out beside him and make a pass, it'll make a huge difference.
And let's not count out Adam Pettit either. So he's back there in a damaged car, but Adam has shown all week long that he can run up front. So there's your top 10. I think we're going to get back to it here in one more lap, but just throwing this out there. So 3 cars from Striker Motorsports up there in the top 10. Then you have Chad Wampler, who's out on an island by himself. His teammates are way back. Sean Dice and Adam Pettit from Revved Racing up in the top 10. Joseph DuPont, Josh Witt up in the top 10 from H2K Motorsports. Kyle Spees, our lone independent, up in the top 10. And then Brandon Browning, our lone Team SRN member, up in the top 10 as well. So a lot of different strategies going to be happening here.
Yeah, a lot of different strategies. These guys are tired too, Sean. I mean, Talladega's fast track 70-lap race. We're approaching just over an hour and 45 minutes here in race time, not including practice time and qualifying. So I know these guys are tired. They're ready to get this thing over with. They're a little hot under the helmet. They just want to get the best finish they can. Let's see if they can get a good run put together here for this green-white checker.
All right, and race control has come down and said that we will not do a single lane restart. We will do a double file restart instead because we are so close to the checkered flag. So we are going to go double file. We're going to have Andrew Schroeder bringing us to the line. And once we get started here, I think there's going to be more damage.
Yeah, I mean, race control must be a glutton for punishment here, letting them go too wide at the end of the race, because I know these guys are going to run hard. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's going to give everybody a good opportunity, starting double file instead of starting single file, to be able to show what they can do, especially these guys up front. So if they've got an opportunity to win, here's your chance to show it. You just got to make sure you dodge everybody else to your goal.
Well, an interesting result of that double file restart, that puts Jake Rowell, Andrew Schroeder's teammate, right behind Andrew. So if Andrew wants a push, he's about to get one.
Well, they're going to come up here as they come through the tri-oval. You have Chad Wampler on the outside of Schroeder. You've got Roel inside. You got Dice, who's been there all night. Let's see what he can do for Wampler. Wampler's pushing him as they come to the green, and off goes Schroeder, and Roel is pushing right now, right behind him.
Pushing for all he's worth, and Chad Wampler is just right up there with him all by himself. This is unreal.
Yeah, as long as he gets that side draft, again, he can pinch him down low. He's drifting a little high there. He's not going to get the momentum. You can see him coming down, trying to get that side draft off of Schroeder. He can keep him down there. If he does, and Speeds can get up to him, or Dice can get up to him, he can get a serious run, and you see him going there. And here's the push for Wampler.
That's right, and we're going to leave it at this angle for just a second so you can see this side by side. But looks like Schroeder is falling back a little bit, but
he is.
Wampler can't clear.
I'm not sure if he's trying to set it up. You know, you see Roel blink out there a little bit, but now they're equalized. They're running side by side. You got 3 on the outside, 3 on the inside.
Looks like this is going to be the race up here because we are coming to the white flag.
If they can just get to this white flag, then we're going to have an end to this race. And
no, yellow right before. Yellow right before. Oh,
wow,
that's a heartbreak.
That is amazing because Wampler was clearing the 44. You had the 36 pushing him. It wasn't pretty. It definitely was not pretty.
Oh, goodness. Well, let's go back and find out what happened here. Looks like it's back in the back. Oh, looks like somebody gets into the wall there. Takes Justin Kruckman into the wall as well. That's the number 83.
Massey?
No, that's the number 83 that gets in. Oh, you know what? That is Massey. I apologize. That is Massey. So, yeah, Massey kind of gets into the wall there. Let's go back and check that one more time.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Massey there, man. He's been a solid driver all season long. Looks like the car just got out from under him.
Yeah, it looks like Massey up there. It looks like Brill gets a little out of shape, but then Massey just kind of overcorrects, gets into the wall, and then comes down. And there's Corey Knight. Oh, Corey.
Poor Corey Knight. He's been running so good tonight and kept that car clean. He could have won his own award, to be quite honest with you, before that incident.
Yeah, and then you got Kruckman, and then it looks like a couple others got involved there. I think Adam Pettit may have gotten a little – actually, that was Adam Gerwitz. I apologize. Or Aaron Gerwitz that may have gotten a little bit involved there as well. So, still – man, we're going to try this one more time here. So we actually have 2 more green-white checkers, if I remember correctly.
I do believe we have 2 more. Yeah, I think we've done 1. It should show us, or we can ask Race Control how many green-white checkers that Mr. Tripp still has in his back pocket. We'll check with them and see. But, man, what a tough way to end it for Massey and that team because he's been running so good. You saw him get in the wall there, spun down, took out a few cars, and it was on from there. I mean, tough break for that team.
Well, Chad Wampler is going to bring us to the green flag when we get back around here again. We still have another lap and a half or so. Let's see if we can get Andrew Schroeder up here and see what he's thinking.
Yeah, let's see if we can find Schroeder down in his team chat, pull him up. Sean, you go ahead and take the honors.
All right. Andrew Schroeder, how's it going, buddy?
It's going. It's definitely going.
Well, we see you up front. This is kind of the first time this season you've ran up front as long as you're running right now. You do have a teammate right behind you. What is the plan here?
Honestly, not too sure. I know I got some right rear damage. Just try to run hard and keep it down on the 812.
Hey, Andrew, you hit the wall earlier and took a pretty good shot there. Got your fast repair, got back out, ran up front. How tough is it running up in this front group right now?
Honestly, it's a whole lot easier than running in the back. These guys know how to drive up front here.
Well, man, like I said, you've got some help back there. Striker's kind of been running really well today. It looks like we only have actually all 4 are still on the lead lap right now, which is phenomenal. But Chad Wampler, all by himself, his team is all the way back in the back. Is this one of those things? I saw you pushing him earlier. Does it matter about teams right now?
It matters a little bit. But with Jake having a win, I know it's all on me right now. And Push and Chad helped me a lot actually to get him up front so then I could take that high side last run.
Well,
and go ahead, Sean.
Would you rather be up top or on the bottom?
I have had a whole lot better experience up top in trucks, Cup, Xfinity. Basically, whatever I run up top is the best for me. And by looking at that last run, I got passed by Chad and Kyle when they were on the high side.
Well, Andrew, good luck here on the restart. Hope maybe you can get a win out of this, but I don't think we're done seeing cautions. Hopefully you guys can race clean to the end.
10-4. Thank you, guys. Hopefully that commentator's curse isn't on me right now.
There's no such thing. Trust us. Trust us.
Europe, right?
That's right. Take care.
You guys at the end.
All right, so while we're kind of resetting here, this is what's really interesting. Just hear these numbers really quickly. Okay, and actually, you know what? Let me see if I can pull this up here. Over here on the left side of your screen, you are going to see the people that have gained the most. Look at your top 13 there. All of them have gone either up or stayed where they started. Wampler has gone 23 positions forward, Schroeder 27, Spies 17. Does this show you that you should stay in the back?
Well, I think yes. The answer is yes. And the other part of that is lots of luck. Lots of luck here at Talladega in these restrictor plates. I mean, to play into that, look at who's there in, what is that, 8th position. You got Brandon Browning still. He's been involved in our last 3 cautions. Poor guy's been hitting our last 3 cautions. He's still sitting there in 8th. So some resilience, some luck, some patience. Absolutely, Sean.
Yeah, and man, it just shows there is strategy at this racetrack. And again, Race Control now has changed their mind. They are going to go back to single file restart.
Yeah, single file restart here might be for the better. We're going to see if Wampler stays up top, though, like we saw Dice do a few restarts earlier. Everybody's been talking about that high line coming in and how they're much more comfortable in that high line. We'll see how it runs here with this second green-white checker, because here we go.
Well, pace car is going to dip off. Wampler has complete control over what's about to happen here. Let's see how good of a restart he can get. With a single file restart, typically he gets a good one, but at the same time, he doesn't catch a draft at that point.
No, and it's going to depend on what Schroeder does. He might pull down. He might stay behind him. I think he's going to stay behind him based on what he just told us in the in-race interview. But they're going to come off this tri-oval here, and you're going to see Wampler hit the gas here about right now.
Yep, there he goes.
They're going to go green. Look at Roel there. He's sneaking on the bottom.
Let's see how they get this sorted out. Roel blinks out a little bit, but he does go to the bottom. He is going to get right up underneath, and Kyle Spies does the smart thing, stays up top.
Yeah, watch him pass below that yellow line. They are going to talk about that, and I know Race Control is going to review it. So if you're trying to dip 2 tires below that yellow line to get a position, that's not going to bode well for you in race review.
Well, that was a big move by Schroeder right there. Just jump into the top line. Now he's not going to have his teammate push him. He's going to have Kyle Spies, but that seems to be working.
Yeah, and Kyle Spies pushing. You know Schroeder wants to be on the outside, but Wampler's been strong all night long. He knows how to run these tracks, and you see him hugging that yellow line. He's right there in first place. You got Marshall Stanley behind Spies on the outside. You got Dice and DuPont who have been there all night long, rounding out your top 6.
All right, here we go. We're coming to the white flag, and it looks like, we got a white flag.
Got it. We finally got it, Sean. So let's see how this race is going to finish. They're going to run tight. Roel's been up there sneaking that front bumper around the back end of the 812. That 812's got to hold it low. He's tapping him as they go through the corners.
Yep, and this is going to be interesting because on the outside you got Schroeder, and the question is, if Schroeder gets up there, is Wampler going to try to block? Oh, look at the outside line. You got Marshall Stanley.
Yeah, Marshall Stanley's coming there with the 62 on the outside line, but as long as Wampler can hold it, Roel is pushing him. I don't think you're going to see any difference in the lead. Schroeder's down there side drafting. It's going to be interesting, though. Does Jake try and make a move? And he does below the yellow line.
There goes Schroeder.
Schroeder wrecks. Oh, and
all
here
sorts
they go
of damage.
racing back.
Yep, and it looks like we're going to have Chad Wampler.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, we're going to have to go back and take a look at that, Sean. Let's rewind it and
Oh
look
my
at that start-finish line.
Goodness, that was amazing.
Let's see what the scoring says.
Let's see if we can get a better angle at this. I'm not sure.
Well, I do believe we've got a camera right on the start-finish line. You see Schroeder, wrecking there.
We do. We're going to move it forward just a hair. And we're going to come to the finish line. And as we get to the finish line, let's see if we can't stop it right when it needs to be. Yeah, that is Chad Wampler taking the checkered flag here at Talladega.
Wow, what a win. What a comeback there from Jake Roel, though, to finish second. Shame we had a wreck there with Schroeder. He came back, had such a good run. I mean, everybody in that race tonight, they were running so strong. A lot of bad opportunities happened to some folks there that were running strong. But you know what? At the end of the day, we had a really good race.
Well, Chad Wampler takes first. Adam Schroeder, with that great run, ends up in 17th.
Oh, man. That's sad to hear. But we've got our top three we're going to bring up in the booth. Sean?
Well,
what a race.
Yeah, man, what an amazing race. Let's pull up the results here, and let's just take a look. So Chad Wampler takes first. Jake Roel just 0.004 of a second away from him. Sean Dice, who's been up front pretty much all day, he's going to take third. Dean Brummett from Striker Motorsports in fourth.
Yeah, Joseph DuPont in fifth. We talked about him all night long. Needed a strong run. There he got it. Bobby Brill, man, he was hanging in there all night long up towards the 1 and 2 position. Finished sixth. Devin Zimmerman, good to see him with the comeback in seventh. And Mike Lewis with a top 10 finish there in eighth. Duncan Staroska in ninth. And Marshall Stanley from Flashpoint there in 10th.
What an amazing race. Well, let's see if we can't get our third place finisher, Sean Dice, up here and talk to him really quick.
Going to go down here and grab Mr. Dice. Let's see where he's at there in Revved Racing. And give him a holler here. Sean Dice, third place. Good run. How'd it feel?
Felt pretty good. I wish I could have held on to it for the one spot, but I'll take a third, man. I'm good with it.
Man, what an incredible race for you. You were up front pretty much the entire race, and then you really didn't have a ton of help up front after that, but still pulling it out. How did you stay up front even though your teammates weren't necessarily right there with you?
Luck. Seemed like the outside line was having a little bit of trouble holding the straight line, so they couldn't really get the run. And when they did get the run, inside line was able to tuck noses and stay a little bit more streamlined. So the outside line was working a whole lot better towards the beginning of the race. And towards the end of the race, the inside was just able to hold it off a little bit.
Do you think you restarted once on a single file? You took the entire field up to the outside line. You started high. Do you think there towards the end, the inside line was able to hold it because they were just tucked in tighter and the outside line lost it?
I mean, the outside line thing was just trying to calm down the cautions a little bit. Had a lot of guys trying to jump and make up the outside passes before the finish line. I would have preferred to stay a little bit lower, but with everybody up there as rule, it wasn't too bad. I think the outside line would have been fine if maybe the guys were getting a little bit too antsy there towards the end with 15 to go. But if they could have, tucked their noses and held a straight line without turning somebody, the outside line would have dominated right there at the end.
Well, man, congratulations on a really good finish. Third place, best finish of the year, I believe, for you. So hope to see you up there a lot more often.
Yeah, man, feels good up here. I plan on staying up here. Everybody in Revved Racing is capable of running the front, winning. First few races here, we just had a string of bad luck. Seems like luck isn't on our side. And tonight, some of the guys, they ran their butt off, but got tied up in some bad luck stuff. But that's Talladega,
Yeah,
well, congrats on the top 3 position.
Thanks, guys.
All right, let's get our second place finisher up here, Jake Roel from Striker Motorsports.
Let's see if we can go down here and find Jake. I'm sure he's waiting on us. And I think we got him.
Jake Roel, Striker Motorsports. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's going pretty well. Just a little disappointment right there, coming home second.
Yeah, I saw you were trying to push your teammate there, and I saw you were also 0.004 of a second away from taking the victory yourself. So how did that work where that last sequence where it looked like you were okay where you were at, and then all of a sudden you said, you know what, let's do this?
Yeah, I was behind Andrew, and for whatever reason, I just couldn't push him. So when he cleared that 36, I told him to go to the high side, and at that rate, it's every man for himself right there. And coming out of 4, I thought we were gonna wreck me and Chad. I thought I was inside of him, but I didn't want to take him out, seeing as he wasn't locked in, and then just big old side draft down the front stretch through the tri-oval. Try to get there. If I had about another 100 feet, I think I would have had it.
Jake, you and Dean stayed way back in the back, just cruising around at the beginning of that race. Do you think that strategy helped you be there at the end of the race tonight?
I definitely think it did. With Dean and I being locked in, it's, there's no point of being out front the entire race. So we just hung out with Andrew and Travis, took it easy, saved the fast repairs. I got into a wreck, but it was minimal damage to where I just repaired it without using a fast repair, and just those are the golden ticket in these races. So you got to keep them in your back pocket.
Well, so for those people out there that are listening that are racing Talladega in the future in a huge pack like this, did the strategy work? Did it work to stay back?
Oh, 100%. You avoid a lot of the wrecks that you saw today, and it definitely helps out a lot. You kind of learn a lot how much you can be pushing and stuff like that when you're with guys you trust. That's when you make your way to the front with those guys.
Well, buddy, congratulations on a good second place finish. Definitely not. I know you're very disappointed that it wasn't a first place, but a great run nonetheless. And we will see you next week.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, congrats, Jake. Good second.
Thank you.
All right, now let's finally talk to our winner here, Chad Wampler. We spoke to him a little bit earlier, but let's see what he's feeling right now.
Yeah, let's go pull Chad up. And Chad, congrats. Good win.
Thank you guys so much.
Man, big push there at the finish line where you got a great run, but then Jake Roel right on your tail. What were you thinking that last half second?
That I got second, honestly. 4/1000ths of a second. I mean, come on. He was pushing me hard. I'm really surprised he stayed with me. I expected him to go up there and push Schroeder, but I think he saw an opportunity because he was going for a win too, and he pushed me, and honestly, that helped me out a lot. But man, the stress is so beautiful, though.
A lot of perseverance up front. I mean, back half of that race, you were there the whole time in the top 3. What do you think kept you up there?
Like I said earlier, just the patience when it comes to plate track racing. The one thing I've learned more than anything is patience. Let the other people make their mistakes and just be ready to capitalize on it and keep your cool. Lots of deep breathing. I mean, I've never tried yoga. Maybe that'll help.
Well, Chad, so now you are locked in the playoffs. And so with that being said, do you keep going out there every week trying for the win, or do you go ahead and start practicing on those playoff tracks now?
Well, I'm always going to go out there and get that win, because it's not just the playoffs for me, too. I want to definitely make the playoffs, and I'm glad I have, but it's a team aspect, too. And I know, unfortunately, it seems like Striker might have pulled away a little bit from Stake Dance, and we were catching him. I'm aiming for sure. I want to make sure Stake Dance as a team is number 1 going into the playoffs.
Well, very cool, Chad, and it's a great win tonight. Glad to have you here in the booth. Glad to see that exciting finish. 4/1000ths of a second between first and second. Well-deserved win.
I also want to say one thing. Please check out StakeDance.com and go get yourself a steak, guys. I'm getting one right now.
Absolutely. We made that deal at the beginning that if Stake Dance Racing won a race, that we had to cook steaks the next night. So thank you very much. I finally get a steak this week.
Anytime. You just help me out next week and we'll get another one, okay?
Sounds good,
All
bro.
right.
Well, let's talk about next week. So MidSouth Madness, week number 6. We're calling it the Monster Under the Bed 75 at Dover International Speedway, Thomas.
Yeah, Sean, going to be an exciting race. These guys can get 2 and even 3 wide at that track. Pretty tough to drive. It's hard to tame the monster there. Tires are going to be another issue again, but looking forward to some good racing.
They call it the Monster Mile for a reason. A lot of wrecks happen there, but it is one of those tracks that you can drive really easily if you just know where to lift.
Yep, absolutely. And it's kind of like a big Bristol. It's just double the size. You got the concrete track there. Again, like we said, tires are going to be an issue, but looking forward to these guys practicing hard this week, and completely different dynamic than what we had at Talladega tonight.
Well, man, I enjoyed doing this commentary with you. I can't wait to get there next week. But everybody, please have a pleasant evening. Be safe this week, and we will see you back next week, same time, for the Monster Under the Bed 75 at Dover International Speedway. Good night.